Hello, gang. Happy Monday. It's not Monday, it's Wednesday. I'm so used to doing this on Monday that it just kind of clicked in my head that it was Monday, but it's not, it's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. How, you gonna horny about me for that? That's not very nice. What did I do to deserve this? So much. Anyway, happy Katawa Shoujo Wednesday. I'm not gonna lie, I've been excited to play this all day long. I've been thinking about it. I'm ready. I hate Mondays. Yeah, me too. Who doesn't, to be fair? Although, this Monday was a good one, because that collab was fun. I had a lot of fun with that one. I don't know if you were there, I don't know if you could tell, but man, it was good. It was good. This works as a preemptive bong for you thinking about Rin. I've been thinking about Rin, you know. Oh yeah, I gotta remember, I need to reinstall Girls Frontline 2 before tomorrow, because it just removed itself from my PC. It's kind of weird, but it is what it is. Maybe it didn't like that I tried running it on the Linux computer. It was like, screw you. Anyway. Well, I think we should continue. Without further ado. Because this game isn't gonna play itself. Let's begin. Alright, here we are. Commander tried to run away from you like he did to G and K. Funny. Arkidonkey, wow. Let's take a look. What's our earliest save? Oh my god. We started this in August of last year. We are in April. And we still haven't finished. It's okay. I have been enjoying every step of the way so far. So let's continue. Having exhausted the books Kenji lent me in just a few weeks, I go back to the library, deeming it a safer alternative for getting my reading fix. I return the books he had stolen while I'm at it, to Yuko's delight. I don't tell her where I got them, though. Wow, you sure read a lot, don't you? Yeah, I guess I do. I mean, I do, even if I think it's weird. I think I might have a reading problem. Maybe I'm a junkie. No, I didn't mean it like that way. It's not weird at all. And being addicted to reading is a lot better than being addicted to something else. Yeah, I know, it was a joke. I smile at her reassuringly and drop the books on the counter so Yuko can check them out. I feel tired, so I sit down in the vacant chair in front of her desk. While Yuko goes through the modest pile of reading material I found, I let my gaze wander around the library. At the tables, a pair of girls is chattering in hushed tones rather than working on their homework. The short-haired one notices me looking in their direction and waves at me. When I raise my hand back, they glance at each other and giggle in unison. I'm not sure how I should feel about that, so I decide it's a good thing. The one who waved at me has a horrible case of epilepsy. I saw her having an attack a few days ago. It was one of the most disturbing and scary things I've seen in a very long time. Yet, there she is, happily chirping away about whatever, as if she doesn't have a care in the world. You know, the school is really something else. Yuko raises her eyes from the books she was going through. Slightly startled, she adjusts her glasses and puts on a nervous, confused smile. What are you doing with that backpack? Where did you get that trench coat from? What do you mean? I don't really know how to explain it. It's just that everyone's so active. Or, how should I put it? It's not just a festival thing, I think. Even though I haven't been here that long, but it's everything. People talk more, work harder, and just are more than in any school I've seen before. I'm struggling for words, but it feels like I'm speaking honestly. This school feels so alive. It's an interesting place for a dialogue option. I mean, I think I know what the obvious good answer is here. But this is just kind of curious. Well, it's pretty refreshing. He did sound like he liked it leading up to now, so we might as well keep up with that theme. Sure, there were some people like this in my old school too, but not as many. It feels more intense somehow. I think, if I had to pin it down to one thing, the students here really appreciate going to school. I don't think that's a bad thing. Yeah, me neither. Suddenly, I realized that I've just been babbling my thoughts to Yuko out of the blue. She's a bit of a jumpy person, so I fear I might have made a bad impression. She's looking at me with what I hope is curiosity rather than horror, so I figure she's alright. Sorry for suddenly talking about weird stuff like this. I didn't mean to trouble you. He's now learning to not be a sulking loser in all these routes. Pretty much. We are somewhat close to the middle of Act... yeah, I guess that's still not wrong. We're in like the beginning, middle of Act 2. And that is around when he's still sulking about the condition. So yeah, it makes sense. Oh no, it's not troubling. I'm happy to listen if you feel like talking. It makes me feel a little reliable too. Yuko smiles sweetly, and a little bit ironically at that. I respond with a thankful smile of my own. As she pushes the neat stack of books across the counter, I stand up and gather them in my arms. Here you are. Thank you. I guess we'll be meeting each other again. Please come here anytime. Yuko's kindness is heartwarming. You can count on it. See you later. The morning of the track meet greets me with a brilliant sunshine from a crystal blue sky. While I leisurely stroll towards the track, I decide this is a good sign. Of what? I'm not sure. This event isn't as exciting for me as it seems to be for a large portion of the student body. I'm even less interested in watching sports than I am in participating. But cheering for Emmy is a good cause. I'm not expecting this to be any sort of amazing and spectacular experience, but it can't hurt. I'd probably be spending the time reading while cooped up in my room otherwise. When I approach the bleachers, I spot Rin emerging from the crowd right before she spots me. You came. Of course, I said I would, didn't I? That doesn't necessarily imply that you had to follow through. Lots of people say things and don't mean them. Well, I don't. Rin shrugs. Seemingly bored with our conversation, she turns on her heel and heads back towards the stands. So, you excited about this? Not really. Me neither. But why did you come? Why did you? She doesn't reply at all, so I decide not to either. We get into the bleachers, and Rin nods upwards. Up there. Rin leads the way, and soon we've settled on an almost empty bench. Emmy's mom has got it going on. Sorry. I was just delighted to see her again. And just imagining himself shouting out, I came! Not yet, not yet. It's too early for that. There's an older woman sitting next to Rin. Someone's mother, I assume. She's got rather long hair done up in a braid. On seeing Rin, she gives her an oddly familiar-seeming grin. Well, this is surprising. I thought you went to get a snack, not a boy. Well...
Emmy's mom has got it going on Bo Chicka Wow Wow.
Well, Emmy's mom, I am quite a snack, as they say. I share away. Huh? This is no good? The woman laughs at Rin and shakes her head, apparently unable to find a comeback for that. I know the feeling. Well, I suppose you've always been one to go out for one thing and bring back another. But I'm being rude, I haven't introduced myself. I'm Maiko Ibarazaki. I'm sure that if you know this girl, you've at least met my daughter, too. Pleased to meet you. Well, that explains it. She's like a taller, older, more motherly Emmy. Apart from her hair being somewhat darker than her daughter's, there's really no mistaking the resemblance. Sorry, I'm Hisao. Hisao Nakai. Nice to meet you. I'm Rin Tezuka. Miss Ibarazaki laughs again. She really does resemble her offspring. And then leans back a little on her seat and raises an eyebrow.
Comeback will arrive in 2 to 3 business days.
Actually, it's right here. So, now that we all know each other, how long have you and Rin been dating? My response consists of silence as my brain suddenly lurches into gear. But just before I can begin to utter a hastily babbled explanation, Emmy's mother bursts into laughter again. Also, hi, Dr. Rapture. Hi, Gung-Ho. You're a blusher, aren't you? I don't know if there's any way to keep my dignity in this situation, so I settled for a mumbled response. We're not dating yet. I know, but it's funny to watch you squirm. I'm sorry, forgive an old woman her amusements. She chuckles again to herself. Old woman? She sure doesn't look that old to me. I suppose I can let it go. How kind of you. It's starting. I direct my attention to the track where they're preparing for the first sprint. It looks like the 400-meter dash. My eyes scan the runners before finding Emmy. She's smiling with an almost cocky look on her face. The starter raises his pistol. Bang! Emmy explodes off the block, disappearing from the starting line in a blur. It's amazing. Even as the other sprinters converge on the lanes closest to the inside line, Emmy surges to the front of the pack. By the time she rounds the final turn, a few of the other runners have caught up with her. But she puts on a final burst of speed that leaves them at least a half second behind.
Hey wait, I've seen this before. It's a classic.
Yep. All routes lead to Emmy. Sure do. We begun with Emmy route, we end with Emmy. Kind of. Miss Ibarazaki whoops and shouts, applauding wildly and generally looking like any other parent cheering on their child. Emmy bounds off the track, looking pleased with herself. I cheer right along with the rest of them. The announcer, sounding suspiciously like Misha, gleefully gives the results. I have a stroke. I think she's gotten faster since the last time. That was incredible. Miss Ibarazaki grins proudly. Emmy's a heck of a runner. We fall silent as the next event prepares to start. I'm surprised to see Emmy striding out onto this track again. Wait, didn't she just run? Emmy's mother nods. Yes, but she runs multiple events for the team, especially the sprints. That's a lot of running, but Emmy can handle it. All routes never lead to Misha. I'm crying. Technically, if memory serves, I could have gone with the other option back then, and it would have been a Misha route in a certain sort of way. From the looks of things, she's right. Emmy doesn't appear to be tired, as if she hadn't run the previous event at all. If not for the sweat visible on her shirt, you never know. Which event is this? It's the 200-meter dash. She'll do this one, the 100-meter, and then the relay. And then hopefully she doesn't get the back of her head. No, no, that's not I don't think that's appropriate right now. Sorry. Hi, Wing of Shoe. I see. Once again, the pistol sounds, and once again, Emmy flies off the block. A thumping sound draws my attention away from the race. It's Rin's foot. She seems completely absorbed in the race. Bad boy. Yeah, fair. Emmy's mother cheers again, and I assume that the race is over. Sprints don't seem to me like they take very long to complete. Your foot? Your foot was bouncing on the bleachers. Oh. You seem pretty into this stuff. I'm surprised. I thought you said this wouldn't be exciting.
Stop looking at Rin's feet.
No! I suppose you're right. It's not that interesting. But I'm watching Emmy, not the sport. I don't follow? Emmy's the most
Can
Emmy.
Rin hand Emmy her legs?
Emmy's the most Emmy when she runs. You don't get to see Emmy at her Emmyest very often. Is this the exact same dialogue the last time? As in Emmy's Earth? This sounds very familiar. But here, you can, see? Yes, yeah, I did think this sounded familiar. I'm not gonna skip it though, because we never know. You never know when something might be different, and you might be missing context when something different shows up. She directs my attention toward the track again, where the 100-meter dash is about to start. I watch Emmy closely. As she gets onto the starter blocks, her whole body seems to relax, but it's a false relaxation. I can see that she's actually like a coiled spring. As the starter tells everyone to get set, her head snaps up and her eyes narrow slightly. Her mouth curls upward in what could be a grin and could be a growl. When the pistol goes off, it's as if she's been unleashed from a cage, like she was always moving at this blinding speed, but we couldn't see it happening until the starter's pistol dispelled the illusion of motionlessness. As soon as she crossed the finish line, the fierce look was replaced by her normal grin. The conquering general returning to his farm. Amazing. She's really amazing. I've never seen someone move that fast. Well, don't look at me. I'm far too relaxed to run that fast. No, I think Emmy's prowess all comes from her father's side. At the mention of Emmy's father, Miss Ibarazaki looks wistful, almost sad. He got her into running, you know. Ah, really? I didn't know that. I leave it at that, and don't say anything for a little while. I get the feeling this is something personal I shouldn't ask about. A beeping noise suddenly emanates from Miss Ibarazaki's pocket. Reaching into it, she pulls out a cell phone and looks at it. Honestly, text messages? What is he, 16? Oh, nothing. I've got to go.
Crap. Not this again.
I've got to go meet up with a friend of mine. Will you tell Emmy I'm very proud of her and then I'll call her later tonight?
Did Emmy's father crash out?
I should beat you for that. Of course. While waiting for the relay to start, I peer at Rin. She seems uninterested in her surroundings, myself included. That remark she made before is still stuck in my head. Emmy's the most Emmy when she runs. It does make sense, now that I think about it. After seeing her run now, I can believe that Emmy gives her all on the track. Sports are more than a hobby, or even a competition to her. They're a defining aspect of her life. What about Rin, then? Does she feel the same way about art? Considering the persistence she displayed before the festival, I could easily believe it. Did I see Rin at her most Rin when she was painting the mural? The relay is about to begin, but I don't see Emmy anywhere. I thought Emmy ran the relay. She runs anchor. So she won't be running for a while yet. Ah! Did you see it? Huh? Emmy at her Emmyest. Maybe. Maybe this time. The race begins and I cheer Emmy's teammates along as they pass the baton. Finally, I see Emmy sprinting onto the track to take the final handoff. Once again, I'm taken aback by how graceful she looks when she runs. It really is beautiful. The look of determination and fearlessness on her face only adds to the picture. Emmy at her Emmyest, I suppose. Emmy flies across the finishing line with a great leap, just barely ahead of the next runners, but still in first. Well, let's go down. Gotta crown the victor. See if you can find a laurel branch. That's not gonna be easy. Rin shrugs. At least we tried. You didn't try at all! Emmy is surrounded by her teammates, all of them congratulating her on the run. Rin seems to be waiting for Emmy to notice that she's arrived. It doesn't seem her style to draw attention to herself, or to emote beyond shrugging. Being more impatient than Rin, I wave to Emmy in her stead. She looks up and grins happily at us. Hey, you showed up! We would have brought you a crown of laurels, but Hisao didn't find one. Neither did you. It wasn't my job to look. When did we assign job? When I said, see if you can find a laurel branch. Try to keep up. I shrug. Guess Rin's rubbing off on me. Don't you mean, guess Rin's shrugging off on me? Seems it's my fault after all, Emmy. Emmy laughs at Rin and me.
Wave? Oh sure, rub that in her face. Why don't you?
Oh, Wave, why did you rub that in my armless face? That's pretty funny. I didn't even think of that, to be honest. But yeah. Yeah. What an asshole. Anyway, it's okay. I'm sure you'll make it up to me somehow. Sure. Good. So how'd I look? Very impressive. Emmy seems pleased with this assessment. I don't mention how much more impressive her performance is given her lack of legs. I figured she knows that already. Besides, it seems like it would take away from her efforts, somehow. Great to hear. I was worried that I looked a little slow on the relay, but I guess I did fine, huh? Emmy giggles and then seems to remember something.
Does Emmy say anything that makes her put her foot in her mouth to stop talking?
I don't think so. I don't think that's possible. Oh, before I forget, Rin and I are going to do something next Sunday. It's a post-track meet celebration. You should come along. Normally we do it the day after, but since today is Sunday, I've got homework in class and all that stuff to take care of. Oh sure, I'd love to. Great, it's a promise then. Oh right, your mom wanted to say she's proud of you. She'll call you later tonight. I thought I saw her in the stands. I'm glad she made it. Hey Emmy, you're gonna miss the medal ceremony. Oh yeah, thanks. She turns to Rin and myself. You don't have to stick around for this part. It takes forever. Besides, you should get cracking on your homework now if you don't want to be up late, Hasao. Did she just call me stupid? Emmy skips back to her teammates, leaving me and Rin by ourselves. Neither of us has the slightest interest in the post-competition ceremonies, so we silently get away and back to the quad. Rin yawns without even trying to restrain herself and shuffles her feet around restlessly. I feel awkward, but less so than if I was with someone else. Still, I'm left hanging, not knowing what I should say next. Emmy was great, wasn't she? She was great. I'm very jealous of her. Why? Like I said, don't you think it's great to be able to really be yourself? Sounds weird, coming from Rin. I don't think you, of all people, should have trouble finding a way to express yourself.
Ori, we've done this 4 times now. We all know he is dense.
Don't you have your paintings? She turns to look at me. For the first time, I see in her eyes this strange, hollow expression that I think must be unique to her. No, you see, the problem is that I'm not really sure who I am. Ooh. An honest Rin moment. Sal has the density of a diamond, yeah. You sure do. Today's art club meeting is currently on hold while everyone waits for Nomiya to show up. I take this time to try and explain my theory about Yamaku to Rin. I'm trying to figure out what exactly about the school feels so special to me. A concept I unsuccessfully tried to explain to Yuko the other day. It's still difficult. The track meet and the time I've spent observing my fellow students have helped my ideas mature a little. Have you noticed that people talk all the time? I can't really explain it, but once again, as I try to explain my observation, I'm struggling for words. The student body is heavily clicked. And I'm only now beginning to make sense of the intricate grouping and popularity networks. And yet, the feeling of being a part of a group is stronger here than I remember it being in my old schools. I'm trying to say that this school isn't like the other schools. Or at least the students aren't, even after discounting the obvious. You know what I mean? I don't know what you mean. Oh well, whatever, I tried. I want to pursue the issue, but at that point, Nomiya arrives. The teacher is wiping sweat from his forehead with a handkerchief and breathing rather heavily. He quickly glances over the room, then settles down a bit. Hello, hello! Apologies for being late. Who the hell starts a conversation like that? I just sat down. Is everyone present? Good. I must confess, I haven't really planned anything for today as I've been extremely busy lately. But I'm sure we can come up with something entertaining. Anyone have any suggestions? I was thinking we could have a discussion circle since we haven't had one in a while. I, at least, found the last one magnificently enjoyable. There are some murmurs here and there, but nobody raises their voice in support or against Nomiya. We could delve into various movements of art. Or does someone have a good topic in mind?
How about drawing with friends?
that was a fun one. Then there's the weirdo loner Kenji, right? Come on, throw it out there. Doesn't matter if it's silly or odd, we can always cook up something interesting. Nobody seems to be brave enough to make such a suggestion. As the awkward silence refuses to be broken, I lift my hand in the air. Oh, our newest friend seems to have something on his mind. Speak up, my boy, speak up. Well, I don't know about anyone else, but I've always wondered why art exists in the first place. My voice trails off. A silence sets in the room, and nobody makes a follow-up on my meek suggestion. Then the teacher bursts into laughter. Oh, excellent. Very good indeed. Right out of the gate with a big one, huh? Fabulous. Chuckling, he shifts some papers around on his desk for a few moments. When he's done, he appears to have made some sort of decision. Very well, then. Let us run with this and see where it gets us, shall we? Oh my, even an old fogey like me gets excited when such delicious enthusiasm is present. Oh my, indeed. Why did you have your tongue out like that, sir? Let me gather my thoughts for a moment so I can figure out a good starting point for everyone. For some reason, the teacher seems to be almost literally bursting with excitement. He scribbles a few things down on a loose sheet of paper, then cleans his glasses with a handkerchief. He strikes a pose, then freezes for an overly dramatic, artistic pause that spans what must be half a minute. It's so quiet, I could hear a pin drop. First, let's come up with a few questions that we want answered, such as, what is art and why does art exist? Anyone have any questions that might be related? The boy with sunglasses pipes up almost immediately. His voice is soft and quiet, and I have a hard time making out what he says. What defines an artist? After him, another question comes up. If I fill a cardboard box with water and call it art, is it art? Everyone laughs at that, even the teacher. Great, wonderful, all of these. Let me start by saying that this is not a clear-cut issue by any means, and as such, I'm not going to give...
Long time ago, pre-humans needed a way to hide the blood they spilled from killing their own kind, so
What?
they splattered the blood on walls. That's how art started.
I believe it. Weird fact, Angie, to come out of nowhere with that, but you do you. Let me start by saying this is not a clear-cut issue by any means, and as such, I'm not going to give any answers to you. I'm only going to speak from my own perspective. Scholars have argued about these sorts of questions since time immemorial, and there's never really been any broadly applicable consensus reached. There are, however, some qualities that most tend to generally agree upon. Hopefully, you should all find these acceptable as well. In short, art defines itself. It simply cannot be contained to a definition from the outside, since the boundaries of art expand and contract from forces within. Every day, someone somewhere comes up with something completely outrageous that challenges any and all preconceptions. The core reason for this is that rather than the rational side of the mind, art appeals to the intuition, the instinct, the primal. You would find it very hard to explain why exactly it is that you enjoy some particular style or piece, no? In modern art, yes, you can put water in a box and call it art, and you can value it at millions of dollars. Well, I mean, you're talking about money laundering, which is arguably not art, you know? He doesn't wait for a response before continuing. This is exactly why. So, art is this sort of wild, uncontrollable thing that lurks somewhere deep in our subconscious. Now, why does it exist? Nomiya apparently expects someone to pipe up with a guess, but as nobody dares to interrupt his inspired speech, he continues. It was a trick question, you see. Art also validates itself. Generally speaking, you might say that art exists for no other purpose than itself. It's something that exists merely to leave a mark in history. It's the defiance of a mortal against the face of darkness, as was once said. Art is truly the proof of our existence. You all should know that human culture and civilization are tightly tied to the existence of art. Then, what about artists? What drives a man to dedicate his life to a thing so fickle and mysterious that it even defies definition? There are as many answers for this as there are artists, but if I had to put it into words, an artist doesn't make art because he can, but because he must. Nomiya takes a pause.
Why art exists is why bees can fly. They are because they can.
True. Never let anyone tell you that you're too fat to fly. That's it. That's the motivational speech. Nomiya takes a pause, and his gaze sweeps over his audience, eyes flaring with passion. It is obvious that art touches the very soul of each and every human being in one way or another. So if you were given a chance to connect with your fellow man in such a fundamental way, how could you not? There is a poem I'm very much fond of, and I shall recite the most well-known part of it to you now. I feel that, for me personally...
The broken bones in my childhood says otherwise. Boy.
You didn't try hard enough. I feel that, for me personally, of all possible things, it captures best the essence of what it means to be an artist. Nomiya leans against the desk as he clears his throat in preparation. Looking at some distant place, he utters the words in the heavy afternoon air with a soft basso voice. To see a world in a grain of sand, and a heaven in a wild flower. Hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in an hour. There was a solemn and unbelievably awkward silence after he finishes reciting the short fragment. Nobody dares speak a word. Nomiya clears his throat again. To be an artist is to see the world in a grain of sand. You see, dear children, without art, there would be not much to live for in this world. It is a most profound thing. He is clearly touched by this notion. I almost expect to see a lone tear rolling down his rough cheek, but it never comes. I'm curious if he sees R34's art. Of course! Why wouldn't it be? No, you're right, I'll be right back. Okay, good luck. Good luck with flying. I turn to Rin and whisper to her, "This is a load of barnacles." So, how is this a discussion circle? She shrugs nonchalantly back at me. The previous ones were the same. To his credit, Nomiya does try to get some debate going, but the club seems to be reluctant to comply. I feel a bit guilty about opening my mouth. Maybe we would have been spared from this.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
Is mayonnaise an instrument? As the meeting comes to a close, I realize we haven't once touched any paint or pens today, and I feel somewhat disappointed. Nomiya suddenly appears next to us. He seems to still be fired up from the speech he delivered. His cologne smells musky and saccharine at the same time, giving me an instant headache, even though I'm not sensitive to perfumes. He's looking at Rin like a hungry wolf. Please do not do that. Tezuka, do you remember Miss Sayonji, who visited us at the festival? I think so. I'm going to tell you something amazing. The thing is, she's a very well-known gallerist around here. It turns out I might be able to get her to consider having some of your work put on display. He ends his sentence with a dramatic gesture. It seems he's expecting Rin to show some sort of joyous, shocked reaction at such grand news, but she just stares at him blankly. Magnificent, isn't it? This could be a real chance for us to get ahead, girl. But... Now, I know what you're about to say. Yes, it wouldn't be a simple affair, but I think this is an absolutely fantastic opportunity. Frankly, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we even make it big. This could be the first step. And then, when the word is out, we strike while the iron is hot. Right, Nakai? Yeah, it does sound pretty great. If you're into that kind of thing. See, we should definitely not let this one pass, am I right? I don't really... Rin seems to be troubled for some reason. I can't figure out why. What Nomiya is saying does indeed sound like a possibly great thing. And I feel like I'm about to get a dialogue thing here, because the music got quiet. She looks pretty down, though, and confused. I've never seen her like this. So, what do you think? Rin looks up to her teacher's glowing face, then back down at her desk. I'll think about it. Nomiya is at least taken slightly aback by Rin's lack of superlative delight. Then he smiles widely at her and gently pats her head. Good girl. What an odd thing to say. The club meeting is finally over, and as I lazily collect my things and help clean up, I start feeling exhausted for some reason. There isn't much to do, however, so it's over quickly. I catch up to Rin, who left the club just a moment earlier, so we're walking down the stairs to the ground floor while I try to go over Nomiya's passionate speech about art, and Rin seems to be lost in thought. Not an unusual state for her, I've learned, but something about her expression makes me feel uneasy. Penny for your thoughts? That'd be too cheap. You're just overpricing your thoughts. I wouldn't be able to sell them anyway. I'm not sure what I'm thinking yet. That'd be fraud, too, like stealing candy from a baby. That's theft, not fraud. I have to think about what I think. Is this about what the teacher said? Getting your work put on display and all that? She doesn't answer, but stops in her tracks as we reach the lobby. We're the only people around, so it's very quiet. Footsteps echo from a few floors up as someone hurries along a hallway. I think I'm gonna go somewhere elsewhere. I think she really is troubled. Want company? I can't promise much help with the thinking, but it's not like I have much else to do. And I'm supposed to do some light exercise. If you like. Oh, she's letting us in! She's letting us in while she's thinking! Rin leads me outside to the wall behind the dormitories. There's a small back gate there, made from the same wrought iron as the main gate. It leads to the shadowy woodland park before the school. The gate is rusty, as if it hasn't seen much use. However, it sits open, so we pass through. It's not forbidden for students to leave the grounds, but somehow I feel a little uneasy. The path leads deeper into the forest. Tall Zelkova and maple trees rustle in the wind, their canopies creating patches of chill air hanging in the places where the shadows fall. The forest smells strongly of earth. I almost feel cold, even though the midsummer day is as hot as ever. Rin trudges ahead like a sleepwalker, sure-footed but with no apparent destination in mind. Her thoughts seem to be somewhere else. I follow a few steps behind, taking more care to watch where my feet land. The path follows the land uphill at a low angle, sometimes making little detours downhill before climbing back upward. The muted brown and gray trunks line the path on both sides, peppered with ferns and other undergrowth. After a little while, I start getting worried. The path is still wide and clear, so there's no chance of getting lost, but it doesn't look like we have any particular destination. There's nothing wrong with a bit of aimless wandering around, but I don't want to go so far that I get too tired to walk back. I'm starting to get a little winded and my legs feel heavy. I want to stop and get a chance to catch my breath and rest my legs, but Rin keeps on going. Where are we going? Or are we going anywhere at all? Worry tree? I see. What's the worry tree? It's just a tree. Like this. She stops in front of a particularly large maple that might or might not be the worry tree. Its lush green leaves sway lightly. Water break. Why are we going? Isn't that the question? She stops in front of a particularly large maple that might or might not be the worry tree. Its lush green leaves sway lightly in the breeze blowing through the small clearing we entered. I guessed as much. There are people who believe that you must come here to wallow in misery, if you are miserable. Only by people, I mean me, and the tree isn't really called anything. So if you're miserable, you talk to a tree about it? No. What? You can't talk to trees. What do you think I am, crazy? No, I didn't mean it like that. Or maybe you talk to trees. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that you're crazy, even though you probably are if you talk to trees. I wouldn't recommend it in either case. People will think you're a weird person. No, I just forget it. She looks mildly confused, for which I don't blame her at all. She tilts her head a little to the side, expression melting back to her usual one. All right, I'm good at forgetting things. So why are we here? Are you miserable then?
Hey, it's your boy. Flight did not go well.
Did you have a nice fall? I can't read the expression she makes. I hate how bad I am at interpreting Rin's mood. She doesn't answer right away, as if she herself isn't quite certain of her own mood. The blank stare changes into a more difficult expression as she shuffles her weight around. Finally, coming to a conclusion, Rin shrugs her shoulders. I've grown to seriously dislike that gesture. It doesn't mean anything. Maybe. I just feel kinda like I'm sinking underwater. I don't know what I should do. I don't know where I should go, that's all. Maybe it's not a big deal, but I thought walking might help. Kinda like, if I go somewhere, I would know where I should go. I don't really know if it did. It really would have made sense if walking had helped to decide where to go. So you don't want to try to get an exhibition? Or rather, you don't know if you do? Can't decide? Rin doesn't say anything for a while, arranging her thoughts in silence. The quiet is broken by birdsong from somewhere in the treetops, followed by rustling leaves as the bird takes flight. Maybe. I'm not sure if I can have a thing like that. So far, I've only painted for myself. I don't think I could have my things on display the way I am now. This me couldn't do it. Her reason sounds like a weak excuse. I make my trademark frown, but she doesn't notice it. Oh no. I don't get it. The teacher certainly thinks you could. I don't think he suggested otherwise. Sounds like he's calling in favors from his friends, too. I know. He's really done a lot for me, but this might be too much. Becoming someone who can do it might be pretty hard. Maybe I couldn't do it at all. He can't do it for me, and if I let him try, I'd just sink deeper and deeper. Rin stands in front of the large maple and turns away from me. I want to close the few feet of distance between us and... I don't know. My irritation is suddenly gone, and I start feeling sympathetic to her. I know exactly how you feel. Well, maybe I don't, but still. I think I haven't felt like I was in actual control of my own life this whole year. I'm just helplessly going along with the flow. Like coming here to the school. I didn't really choose it myself. And I certainly didn't choose this time of my life to learn that I have this condition. I still can't casually say the word aloud. It's like, yeah, it's exactly like being underwater. Like I can't even breathe. Rin turns to face me again, a sad expression on her face. Is that why you look so sad all the time? I don't want to look sad like you. Do I look to you like you look to me? I don't look sad all the time. I just don't know what I should be feeling. What kind of face I should be making. You two are so alike! Me neither. Do I look sad now? Not really. You look like you always do, I think. But I'm sinking. I should try to float. Up, like a rubber duck. Quack, quack, all yellow and creepy. I have to think for a few seconds about which direction I should pursue this conversation. Then I realize it doesn't matter. You think rubber ducks are creepy? You don't? I think they look very creepy. Everything that has eyes but isn't alive is very disturbing. Like rubber ducks and reflections in mirrors. She plops down on the forest bed, leaning on the maple she named the worry tree. After wondering what to do for a minute, I sit down too, 3 feet apart from her. Just sit down right next to her, dude. The forest envelops us in its embrace, and its stillness falls upon the two of us. We sit there without speaking for a long while, I can literally feel the time passing. Patches of sunlight litter the small clearing in a pattern that echoes the maple canopies. One of them falls directly on me, warming me all the way to the bone. I wonder what I could do for myself, and maybe for Rin. For now...
Is this the movie The Happening?
The Happening. I don't think so. I'm sinking! You mean too many thoughts? No! Quicksand! Dun, dun, dun. For now, though, I just keep watching her from this distance. Sometimes she cranes her neck all the way back, so much that it almost looks painful, and stares up at the small patch of sky visible past the canopy of the worry tree. Sometimes she just stares blankly ahead, as if seeing something just beyond her reach. She keeps whispering to herself, but so quietly that I can't hear her, even though I'm sitting right next to her. I only see her lips moving, like she was in the middle of a distant dream. I realize that right now I no longer feel any of the intense loneliness I felt that night, just before falling asleep. It might be more like Rin than I thought. I can either give up and stay submerged under the weight of all the crap in my life, or try to change myself for the better. Her decision is different, yet the same. And unlike her, I know for sure that I can't stay like this forever. I have to change. Oh, that's an interesting one. I think this one's pretty easy. This should be an easy one if you were reading any of the past boxes, because this entire time we've been comparing Rin and Hisao have got the same problem in life where they don't know where they want to go. They don't know what they want to do. They feel trapped where they are now, though, and they don't know if that's okay or if they should change. So naturally, if we say I want to be more like Rin, that's saying we don't want anything to change. We want to keep doing this. We want to keep going this route. We want to keep the status quo. And naturally, Emmy, who we just spoke about, was, she knows what she likes. She has goals. She has dreams, ambitions, passion. So, and that's change. I want to be more like Emmy. Emmy probably has done it. She's so happy and energetic. A runner girl without legs. If anyone has beaten a disability, it must be her. Well, sorta. It makes me feel a little bit better too, and I lean back against the tree, breathing out deeply as if for the first time in a long time. We stay that way in the small clearing until the angle of sun changes and the chilly shadows deepen. No longer warm where we sit, we leave the forest, returning along the same path we took coming in. It doesn't seem like Rin has come to a decision. I wonder if it was a bad idea for me to come along. It's alright. I don't mind. I'm sure the trees and dirt and rocks won't mind either. Did you mind? No, not at all. I think it helped me too. While we walk back towards the dormitories, the sky is changing to a deep ultramarine. The first summer stars twinkle softly from between spots in the canopy, barely visible like tiny fireflies. I've become very self-conscious about Rin's presence. I haven't thought much about girls since things fell apart with Iwanako.
The trees have more arms than Rin.
Depends on what. Do you consider their branches arms? If so, then most trees will have more arms than the average human. This is kind of the same situation as then, but to be honest, I don't think it really counts for much. Not with Rin. And yet, it feels good walking next to her, even if it isn't anything more than this. At first, I think Rin agitated me quite a bit with her unpredictable behavior, but recently, I feel I haven't had to be on my toes so much. I've managed to let myself go a little. It makes me feel satisfied, even though ultimately I think it's more thanks to Rin than myself. She seems to be disinterested in a huge number of things, but something in her makes me try harder than I normally would. It's not that I want to impress her. I think that truly impressing Rin would take near superhuman effort just because of how she is. Instead, it's because there is this relentless feeling inside of me that I shouldn't let Rin down. It's really weird. I wonder why I started thinking like that. I don't even know what sort of expectations she has about pretty much anything. So how could I let her down? Rin has this unassuming air around her. She doesn't really talk about stuff very often. Even today's confession of her self-doubt caught me a little bit off guard. I feel like I want to talk more with her. The realization suddenly dawns on me that Rin is basically the only person I talk to nowadays, apart from whatever I have to endure from Shizune, Misha, or Kenji. I feel slightly depressed. In front of the dormitories, as if summoned by my dark thoughts, we run into Kenji himself. It feels very odd seeing him outside, breathing fresh outdoor air. At least it's already dusk. I partially expect Kenji would disintegrate upon direct exposure to the sun. Kenji himself seems very insecure as well, standing around looking like he's waiting for something, but doesn't know himself what it might be. Hey Kenji, what's up? Hello. Who are you? It's me, Hisao. I'm not sure if you know Tezuka from Class 3-4. From his face, I can see that not only he doesn't
Kenji,
know...
Who let you outside?
Who let Kenji outside? That's against the rules. From his face, I can see that not only he doesn't know Rin, he also can't see her from this short distance. Oh, sup dudes? Oh my god, he thinks Rin's a dude. Kenji sticks his hand enthusiastically forward, almost straight into Rin's stomach. Rin looks at his outstretched hand in confusion until Kenji clears his throat and retracts the hand. There is something almost cool that he manages to do with social awkwardness. It's not like I'm the most suave man on the planet, but I don't think I'll ever be able to even approach Kenji's level. I think I respect Kenji a little bit more. So, you're waiting?
And before Kenji thinks Rin is a tree.
A tree that can talk? Yeah. Hi, Nicholas. You waiting for someone? He leans closer and lowers his voice to an agitated whisper. I see his facial muscles twitching. Come on, man. You know I can't talk about stuff here in public. They might be listening. I'm gonna have to go pick up some stuff from somewhere. I don't want those snooping student council hags getting on my case. Also, I don't trust your friend. Nothing personal. Are you sure he's trustworthy? I briefly considered telling Kenji about Rin's gender, but as it might end up badly for one or both of them, I decided against it. Yeah, I'm sure. He turns from me to Rin, and I immediately get the feeling that I have to prevent them from talking to each other with whatever means necessary. However, there is little I can do now, apart from physical violence. In that case, would you be interested in knowing about the worst threat to mankind since they invented vegetarianism? He sounds like a vacuum cleaner salesman. I thought it was...
Look at train.
Look at train. I thought it was Sunday. I see you're not in the know. Yeah, man. I'm talking about man-eating cows here. Very few people know what I know, so I'm not surprised. We can't talk here, but if you like a pamphlet, come to my room after curfew on Mondays or Wednesdays. He suddenly reaches to his pocket and draws out a ballpoint pen and what looks like a convenience store receipt. Kenji furiously scribbles on the scrap of paper and then thrusts it towards Rin. Here's the password. Memorize it and then eradicate any trace of this document. Eat it, burn it, dissolve it in acid, whatever. I take the receipt from Kenji as Rin is unable to do so and glance at it. It's indeed a receipt, apparently for 2 rice balls and 5 boxes of matches. I hope he is not planning to burn anything down. On the other side is written just one word. Honey muffin! Honey muffin! Honey muffin! That's close. That's close to honey toasty. Oh my gosh. It's just a different kind of grain. Well, not grain, bread. Grain product, that's the word. I show it to Rin too, but she shows no reaction. Thank you. Yo, Hisao, you still in that club? The Club of Dark Arts? Fine art. Anyway, yeah, actually just had a meeting today. Still got your wits about you. No shady mind tricks going on? Nothing personal, man, but I have to be on top of things. Can't get caught with my pants down. Speaking of which, you should really take showers a bit later. Gotta respect that personal space. Nothing personal. Kenji looks around as if he heard something and then straightens his jacket. Okay, I gotta suit now before it gets too late. Later, dudes. Good luck. Kenji takes off rapidly towards the main gate. Rin looks after him.
Honeymuffin.
Oh my god, what have you done? What have you done? What have you done? Why are you like this? Wing of Shou! How have you done this? How could you have done this to us? I expected the word, by the way. Honestly, so did I. I think if you did a space in between honey and muffin, it would have worked. I really gotta program a button that lets me skip these. Oh well. We watch after Kenji's diminishing figure in silence. What's wrong with him? Technically speaking, I think he's legally blind. Oh, I see.
Honey muffin?
Oh, it's time. I can immediately tell from the envelope that it's not about official matters of any sort. Someone actually wrote me an old-fashioned, handwritten paper letter. Who bothers doing something like that in this day and age anyway? Yet, as unlikely as the prospect of receiving one sounds, there is definitely a letter lying on my desk. Classes for the day are over. Still feeling pretty full from the big lunch that I had unexpectedly eaten at the cafeteria, I returned to my dorm, planning on finishing my homework and probably skipping dinner. Or at least just eating light. I feel like I need to eat less than I used to. Maybe I don't use that much energy now that I don't do much beyond reading. However, the letter on my desk has naturally caught my interest. It's the first piece of mail I've received here at Yamaku. This would feel special even if it wasn't something as rare as a handwritten letter. What causes me even more trepidation is the name of the sender, written neatly on the back of the envelope. Iwanako. I have no idea why she would write to me. I haven't been in contact with anyone from my old school since I transferred, and Iwanako is the last person I'd expect to want to write me a letter. The last time I saw Iwanako was terribly awkward, embarrassingly so. She came to my hospital room, peeled me an apple out of courtesy, and then we practically sat in silence for half an hour. She said goodbye and didn't look me in the eye when she closed the door. It might have been a natural end to the series of visits that were probably pretty painful for both of us. Every time she visited me in the hospital, I wanted to talk to her, but something stopped me every single time. Every time that I didn't speak made the next time even harder. Iwanako always had this aura of fragility around her, as if she'd shatter into pieces at the slightest disturbance. Initially, I think it might have been that delicacy that attracted me to her, but after what happened back then, I felt as if she really had shattered. She looked so sad that I didn't want to say anything that night, say anything that might upset her, and I never could figure out the right words to say. I told her that it wasn't her fault. She nodded, and I really think she understood that if it hadn't been that, then sooner or later something else would have made my heart give out. Yet she looked so hopelessly sad every time she opened that door and entered my room. So I never managed to say the things I wanted to say. In the end, that might have hurt her even more. Carefully, I open the envelope and draw out the folded letter from within. Dear Hisao, how are you? I hope you're well, and happy at your new school. Everyone here misses you. Almost all of our second-year class got put together in Class 3-1 for the final year. We are pretty comfortable right now from the beginning of the year. I'm sure you would have been assigned to this class as well. The mood among the third year seems to be very anxious about the final exams, even though they are so far away. The teachers are badgering us about it all the time. Even old Mr. Tachibana, who is, by the way, our homeroom teacher this year. Would you believe it? I was sure that he'd retire after our second year, but here he is, nagging everyone about studying for exams. I think things like that are the main reason why the mood among the third years is so nervous. I must admit that I'm somehow losing confidence in myself as well, even though I've always fared reasonably well in exams. It's so weird to think that we are already seniors, isn't it? Time has really flown past. I wonder where it went. The new first year seems so young and somehow really innocent. I keep wondering if I was like them in my first year. I've been feeling nostalgic like this for the whole first trimester. There are other things I want to say. I'm writing to you because I felt that there are things I should have said after the incident, back in winter. I really regret that I wasn't able to say them in person, and I have no excuse for it. The truth is, the times when I visited you at the hospital made me worried about you. I'm not talking about your health. You seem to become more distant and disheartened. It was natural after something like that happened, I'm sure. But somehow I got the feeling that you had given up on something back then. Happiness, maybe? I wanted to somehow express my feelings, but the right words didn't come to me. I couldn't say anything to comfort you. I am really sorry for not being able to support you when it mattered the most, even though I like you so much. At least now, finally, I can be more honest. If I could go back to those quiet days in February and March, and tell you not to give up on yourself, that's what I would say. Maybe you wouldn't have drifted so far away if I had just said something. I hope you've managed to get back on your feet on your own. Now that the distance between us is also physical, it also feels more final, somehow. I wonder if we'll ever meet again. Perhaps it's for the best if we don't? Still, if you'd like to correspond with me, by all means write me back. I'd very much like to hear about your new school and how you're doing. I wish you all the best. Sincerely, Wanako. Every single time I read that, it makes me realize that Wanako was not... Wanako's not a bad person. And I feel kind of bad that he never writes her back, like, at any point. Maybe that happens in the Kenji route. Oh my god. After finishing reading the letter, I fold it like it was and place it on my desk. I don't know what to think of this. I feel empty and confused. Why now, after all this time? Just yesterday I decided that I can't let myself stay like this. That I try to get on top of my own life. Reading this letter just reminds me of what that could have been. Of course, I wish that I didn't have to be here. I'd want to be in the same class with the Wanako again. Maybe we would talk every day now and go on dates. My life didn't go like that. I didn't really need to be reminded of this. Iwanako needed to write this letter for her own sake, and I'm glad for her that she could, but it would have been better if I hadn't read it. Of course, she's right. I thought of the same thing yesterday. I had fallen into a pit of depression and now have to try to climb out. Feel at this point there's modern enough internet for email? Oh yeah, there absolutely is. She just didn't email. Well, maybe she doesn't know his email. But either way. I made it to a Rin stream. Let's go! Let's go! Woohoo! Act 2, baby! Let's go! Let's go! I rip out a page from my notebook, and after a moment of thinking of how to frame my words, write a short reply to Iwanako. Oh my god, I was just talking about how he never replies to her. Is the Rin route gonna be the one where he replies? I find it difficult to be really honest to her, but at least I try to appear somewhat convincing. I don't write her about Yamaku at all. Dude, you could write about your thoughts about how you think it's interesting how everyone talks here. I doubt you will write me again, but I don't feel at all sad about it. I fold my own letter to her, as I have no envelope, set it next to Iwanako's. I'll mail it to her later. We'll see about that, buddy. Then I lie back on my bed, looking at the monotone gray ceiling. A bird sings outside of my window, and a sudden gust of wind flutters my curtains. The summer afternoon feels still, as if time had stopped for a brief moment. I think about all the things I've lost and will never regain. Damn, bro, that was dark. I mean, a letter is potentially a little harder to miss than an email. That's true. I feel like it's fitting that Rin doesn't really hold back when talking, and now Hisao is doing the same with Iwanako. Well, I mean, he did hold out a little bit, because he didn't talk about Yamaku. But I guess the contents of the letter could be not holding back in other ways, so, you know. Without seeing the exact letter he wrote her, it's kind of hard to say, you know? And thus the languid days of mid-June pass by. I mail my letter to Awanako and receive no reply. Having decided to ditch the old me, I start observing my fellow students even closer than I did before, hoping to understand how other people cope with their own issues. I start seeing things I didn't before, and it makes me wonder if I've been wrong twice. Perhaps I am schizophrenic. Superficially, everyone is abnormal, yet so strikingly normal that it shocked me at first. I admired the way my new schoolmates turned my prejudices around just like that, simply by being themselves. Now that I've gotten used to it, I begin noticing other kinds of tones in the people surrounding me every day. There is this soft, numb sadness all around me. I can see the effort everyone has to make just to get through the day and how it weighs on their shoulders, like it weighs on mine. Even the brightest smile is just slightly subdued. Every outburst of annoyance just slightly dampened. It's subtle, but it's definitely there. I try to think what it means, what I can learn from others. I wonder if deep down, everyone is as lost as I am. Is there even one person in here who has truly found peace? I start to feel doubtful about myself once again. I can't decide whether these people are happy, unhappy, or if they've just learned to cope and now live in an unfeeling limbo like I did all spring. I escape from these feelings into the towering piles of books I carry to my room from Yuko's sanctuary. After realizing that this will just shut me down even more, I start going to the art club's room more often, usually whenever I can. Rin, too, seems to spend more time in there than in her own classroom. I've often seen her totter towards the door at the very end of our corridor, that wooden door in the room behind it, smelling of paint and paper. It seemed to mean more to her than the rest of the world combined. She says she has special permission to use the room, which I don't doubt at all. I don't think Nomiya would deny Rin anything. He seems to dote on her like an uncle upon a favorite niece. The object of his affection, however, has no favorites. She says she appreciates the teacher a lot for going the extra mile for her sake, but even when she says that, her expression is the same as always. It's as if she was talking about a particularly unremarkable rock that she saw the other day. Can't really figure out their relationship. Rin doesn't seem to let anyone close. I don't think even Emmy could say that she's crossed that gap, the gap that seems to separate Rin from the rest of the world. I don't understand it. She seems so indifferent, yet so passionate at the same time. Somewhere, the school bell rings, the last call of the day. I realize I've been zoning out for who knows how long. Dazed, I sit up straighter, trying to look as inconspicuous as possible. The pungent smells of linseed oil and turpentine mix in my nostril as I draw a deep breath. I feel drowsy and lightheaded. It's already this late, and a few club members left early, so it's just me, Rin, the teacher, and two other girls who are also about to leave. Rin is sitting to my right, slowly working on a painting while I'm idling the time away. I don't think she realizes I've been watching her this whole time. Gas leak alert! With a nimble move of her delicate ankle, she dips the brush into crimson paint and presses it lightly onto the canvas. A stain spreads around as if the brush was bleeding. Her progress has slowed down to a crawl, but by now I've learned that this is dangerous for her technique, as the paint must not be allowed to dry before she's finished. It occurs to me that I am literally watching paint dry, and yet somehow I'm not feeling bored, despite spacing out just now. Most of the time, the art club is very relaxed and freeform, apart from times when Nomiya gets really excited about some technique or style he wants to teach us about. Everyone is free to pursue their own interests. Lacking one, I keep floating around without a direction. I try this and that, but nothing really leaves me with a deeper impression. Not to mention that I don't seem to have a special knack for anything.
What body part was that shown for so long?
Well, I did get praise for my attempt at watercolors, and I felt pretty good about that myself, but that's it. I suppose this...
Is Horny Bell an art?
Yes it is. I suppose it's to be expected. I joined the art club mostly on a whim, after all. I think that maybe I should quit the club, if it's gonna be this pointless. But There's nothing really wrong with pointlessness, and I can't exactly say I'm unhappy. You just like being with Rin, that's all. Unsatisfied, maybe, but I've only got myself to blame for that. As the pair of girls exit the club room with a cheerful "bye-bye," Nomiya stands up from his desk. His chair scoots back with a loud screech that breaks the harmony of this quiet afternoon. He taps a pile of papers in his hands twice against the tabletop in order to straighten them, then stretches his back. I have a faculty meeting to attend, so I can't I can't stay. I'll have to do some paperwork later, so if you want to stay, we can talk then. Sorry about this. There are two people here, but he's really talking to only one of us. Nomiya spends extra hours of his time mentoring Rin after official club hours are over. And I'll bet he'd like to discuss his plan of getting Rin's art into the gallery a little more. It's alright. I think I'll probably be here, but it's not a big deal if I'm not. I don't really have much going now. Rin answers without moving her eyes from her work in progress. The tone of her voice is neither the polite kind expected when talking to a teacher, nor her usual monotone. So I won't need to send a search party if you aren't here? Yeah, no thanks. I don't like to party. We can talk later. Good girl. Smiling, the teacher picks up the rest of his papers and makes his way to the door. I glance at the clock above it and then at my watch to double check. They are 3 minutes apart, but nevertheless, the club meeting's time is over now. Rin seems intent on staying here to work on her piece while waiting for the teacher. I can't quite imagine what their one-on-one time would be like. Would they actually discuss anything? Rin is always so subdued in what she says, and when she does say something, it's difficult to understand what she's talking about. Maybe Nomiya just talks endlessly like he does at club meetings, letting Rin absorb what she will from his infinite well of art knowledge, like a sunflower turning to face the glowing sun. Do you mind if I stay? I thought maybe I'd give watercolors another try. I blurt out the excuse sort of accidentally, embarrassing myself. Rin doesn't take her eyes off her painting. Okay. I shift around in my chair, then get to fetching a cup of water, brushes, colors, and some paper. The sound of my footsteps invades the still afternoon air. Before starting, I try to recall what the teacher told us. An important philosophy of the medium. Working with watercolors means more working with water than working with color. Try to keep that in mind and dip my tiny sable brush into the water cup. I'm mixing yellow and blue, trying to capture the sunlit treetops outside of the window. The sun is low, so the yellows are more pronounced and everything looks darker. I still can't quite connect what I see with what my hand does with the paints, but it's a passable attempt for my level. After a while, I start losing my focus and move the paper aside, deciding to watch Rin work for a while instead. That little while stretches first into a long while, then into a really long while. Rin paints, her entire being fully concentrated on the brush between her slender toes, and the painting comes to life one stroke at a time. She seems determined, and yet, at the same time, relaxed, effortlessly moving the brush around, never hesitating. Colors meet and part, mix and cover each other on the canvas, bending to her quiet will. I don't know anything about composition, structure, or any of that stuff, but I really like Rin's paintings. I like how she looks when she paints. As usual, the silence between us compels me to speak, rather than merely wait for her to open up. She might end up saying nothing at all. Has anyone commented on how Rin's back is going to be messed up in the coming years due to that slumping? Oh, definitely. Do you mind if we talk? I don't mind. Oh, she looked away from the painting. Kind of wanted to ask more about why you get so weird about this thing the teacher wants to arrange for you. Rin picks up a tube of paint, squeezes it between her toes on a palette almost as easily as someone with opposable thumbs would. Picking up a brush again, she replies. A lot of things, and some not things. Unthings. I don't think that's a word. Do you want to talk about it? I try to reach out to her clumsily, ignoring the embarrassing feeling of awkwardness. Rin keeps her focus on the painting, spreading more and more paint on the canvas, her lips forming a perfectly straight line as she concentrates on the job. Not really. Talking is hard, I mean. It's not hard, I'm talking even now. But saying the right things is really hard for me. No matter what, I just can't say the things I want. That sounds weird. It's true. I say all kinds of things that I don't really mean all the time. Sometimes I forget words, and then I use the wrong words. I even come up with new words for things that already have some. That's the worst thing. I get really nervous and everything comes out as a mess, and I don't really understand what I want to say. I think there's something wrong with me that makes it like this. Remember when I said I can only think of 4 things at the same time? I nod, wordlessly. It's not really 4. I mean, it is 4, but everything else is also kind of there in the background. Like being at an amusement park and a beehive at the same time. But that's not the point.
You may find yourself in a large automobile.
And you might find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile. How did I get here? I used to do better, like 6 or 7 things. I think so, at least. I feel like I'm becoming dumber. You and me both, girl. I think everyone has times when they feel like they can't say the right things. But it's there all the time, stronger and deeper. Yeah, deeper is a good word. I like that word, deeper. It's that feeling of being underwater. Maybe it's just art.
There is a lot of colorful slop on that canvas.
I'm gonna beat you so hard. The more I paint, the more words I forget. Maybe at some point I'll forget how to speak completely. Feels like I'm slowly forgetting everything. Do you remember what you thought about things 3 or 4 years ago? I don't. A long pause ensues, during which time seems to bend around itself, almost tying itself into a knot. I don't think I've ever heard Rin talk this earnestly and for so long about anything before. It's like I'm fading away from the world. Is this painting of people screaming because Rin can't form sentences and words correctly? Partially, probably, potentially. I think her art is definitely, it's very chaotic and hectic from what we've seen so far. Interestingly, the only art that we've seen that deviates from this, to my memory, is her drawing of Hisao, which was just him looking very sad. So, tuck that away for now. Rin's foot has stopped its work on the canvas and she is staring at her painting, unmoving, as if gazing at some faraway horizon. Sunlight briefly glints in the corner of her onyx eyes. Something floats up into the top layer of Rin's...
When do you pant her back with your personal brush?
When do you pant her back? Yeah, I know what you meant, you little...
I call it bold and brash.
More like belongs in the trash. Something floats up into the top layer of Rin's being and she lets out a long breath. Then she blinks and it's gone. Paintings stay behind. When I look at my old things, I remember what I was thinking back when I made them. They make me feel like I can be with all the past me's when I was a different me. I guess they're the proof of my existence. She uses the exact same words Nomiya used when he spoke to us of the nature of art. I don't think Rin was paying any attention back then. I wonder if she was listening, or whether she had heard the same passionate speech from Nomiya before. Either way, I feel overwhelmed. Boy, are you complicated. I would have taken up writing a diary. Why would you say that, Hisao? Are you stupid? Never mind, we already know the answer to that question. Her eyes quickly flicker to my direction and then back to the painting, but she doesn't pick up the brush anymore. That's a great idea. Why didn't I ever think of that? Are you being sarcastic? What's sarcasm? I don't call her on the joke, if it is one. Right at that moment, Nomiya returns from his meeting. He waves to us a very melodramatic hello, mildly surprised to see me here along with his pet student. Walking with a boisterous gait to his desk, he drops his paper upon it. Picks up a handkerchief and cleans his glasses with incredibly meticulous care before walking over to us. Before he is within earshot of us, Rin says something to me in a quick, quiet voice. Change is the scariest thing in the world to me. And I seriously don't know if I want to change into a person who could do the thing the teacher wants me to do. I don't know if I could, even if I wanted to. I see. Hello again! Hello, hello! What's going on? He smiles a bit sheepishly, looking at both of us with uninhibited interest. Nah, nothing. We were just talking about that thing with your acquaintance in the gallery. For Rin's works, sort of. Oh, any decisions? I look at Rin, who was trying to arrange the bothered expression on her face into something else. Anyway, I don't think I have much else to say other than that you should go for it. Oh boy, this is a hard one, I think. So it'd be exciting, you should aim high, I think you'd be a big hit. Rin squats in a house because change is scary. Decisions, yeah. So, let's see. I think the third one's out of the question. I think the third one is easily out of the question because it's implying that you would be a big hit to other people. But Rin's whole problem right now is herself. She doesn't know what she wants to do. She doesn't know what she is, basically. She wants to figure that out. So, seeking external validation, I don't think is what she wants. So no, absolutely not. Let's see, what else we got? Because it would be exciting, or you should aim high. I don't know, maybe that... Hearing something like that from someone close could be motivating. Yeah, the thing is, you'd be a big hit to other people, not people that are close. Strangers, complete strangers who don't know her. And it wouldn't matter to her, basically. That's expectations, which she doesn't want, yeah. Because it would be exciting. Because it would be exciting to who, is the question. It'd be exciting to, Hisao, or at least he thinks it would be. And I don't know that she would need her necessarily. Although it is Hisao, she does seem to care about him, even at this stage. So maybe she would care what he thinks. You should aim high, but why? Why would she want to aim high? She wants to find herself. Aim high for future self to see current self as prime self.
I say you should go with option D.
What's option D? I'm waiting. With bated breath. You know. Just, you know. Not even gonna complete the joke, make me look like a weirdo. Okay, fine, be that way. Aim high for future self to see current self. Yeah. You can't even say it, use it, because you're on cooldown, huh? So, Oh, we had to change it from exclamation point horny because I'm pretty sure if you have a whole bunch of people typing horny into chat, YouTube will YouTube might strike my stream. So I changed it from horny. Try bell instead, exclamation point bell. Yeah, I'm leaning towards aiming high. So even if she doesn't make it, you know, she can always look back. You're not wrong. And fish work still, yes. It would be exciting. That's a short-term thing. And while it would be fun to look back at something exciting, it's still short-term. You should aim high. Let's try to get her some goals. You should aim high. I really think you should aim higher. You should take the chance. Even if you crash and burn, at least you tried. It'd be worth it for just that. Exactly, Hisao. Perfect, perfect. Nomiya sucks in his breath and lets out after a pause, as if he wants to add something, but he manages to restrain himself. Rin finally replies to me. You don't think I'm good enough like this? Okay, maybe we've messed up. We're gonna continue with it, though. No, I think you're selling yourself short if you think like that. It's cowardly. He called her a coward too. Maybe that wasn't the right choice. Uh-oh, yeah, right? Rin looks absent-mindedly at me, not saying anything. I can't even tell if my words had any effect on her. I just don't get it. Anyone else would be jumping up and down in excitement. I'm really starting to think that that's the wrong choice now. What's the point of doing your best being at this art club if you don't do anything with your talent? Yeah, now you're really not sounding. Now this is really not sounding like the right choice. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be angry with you if you give this up. My voice rises higher. I don't know what makes me say this. It's like I've been taken over by some force out of my control, but I really do feel angry. Images of a letter written on cute stationery flash. Yeah, it's flashing my mind. Images of the masked faces of my parents, my doctors. Images of the time I've wasted. They mix into my feelings about Rin like a torrent of molten iron. I want to continue, but Rin suddenly stands up. Fine. I'm going. She trots out of the room without anyone saying anything. I stare after her, still seething, with the voice of rationality in the back of my head, wondering if I made her angry as well. Maybe that wasn't the wrong choice. We're gonna see. We're gonna just continue playing. The teacher lets out an embarrassed but extraordinarily loud laugh. You care a lot for her, don't you? Nomiya looks at me over his circular pink glasses, smiling sympathetically. You've made friends with her then, Nakai? Well, something like that, I guess. Depends on how you look at it, to be honest. I'm not really sure. It's more like me and Rin just tend to hang around each other irregularly, talking or not about something that more often resembles some twisted mockery of philosophy rather than normal everyday things that friends chat about. Well, that's all good, isn't it? You're a new student, and we should be promoting integration into the student body and such. I can't remember all the buzzwords they spew at faculty and Yamaku Foundation meetings, but that's how it is. Tezuka isn't the most social person around these parts either. Yeah, that's definitely true. So she's talked about my suggestion to you. Oh, no, not really. I think it's been more me pressing her to decide something. Maybe I shouldn't have. No, I'm sure it's fine. I'm too soft with her, even when I shouldn't. I don't really know how to handle Tezuka. She's so independent and willful. I don't actually know that I would use willful to describe her. She obviously hasn't opened up to him at all, so I'm not surprised that he can't read her character. Put it all on black to try to win her back. I wonder if this is what every old geezer of an art teacher who got his hands on a young and fiery prodigy felt like. He chuckles ironically to himself a little bit, turning to face Rin's latest work, which she left drying on the easel. She departed so abruptly that I wonder if she considers it finally finished. So, let's see the painting then. He leans in closer, peering at the canvas. It draws you in, doesn't it? Nomiya stands back straight, his face a dreamy, nostalgic visage. I don't answer him, as he seems to be taking my agreement as a given. I sometimes stay here after hours just to look at Tezuka's paintings. She's really just prodigious. And at such a young age, I get shivers just thinking of what she could become with a few more years of refinement. You asked what makes an artist, remember? This is it. They take a piece of the world and reshape it in their own image. Metaphorically, of course. Looking at her makes you wonder what the world looks like through her eyes. It's a wonderful thing, to be young and full of passion. The most extraordinary time of your life. You would do well to remember that, Nakai. Yes, sir. That's so silly. People always ask artists, where do you get your ideas? As if ideas were something sold at the market for pocket change. You can't explain inspiration. For people like Tezuka, it's like breathing. It's an instinct. I've met maybe one or two with the same kind of raw potential, but no amount of potential will amount to anything if one doesn't work to realize it. It's practice, technique, skill. Draw for an hour every day for a few years, and even the most hopeless case becomes a passable artist. Tezuka is not brilliant because she was born with a natural talent for this kind of thing. She's brilliant because she works harder than anyone, ever since she learned to hold a pen, most likely. And all of it with her feet, no less. Absolutely phenomenal. So what I'm getting from this entire conversation is Nomiya does not know anything about Rin. He cannot read her for shit. Silence finally lands in the clubroom as Nomiya lets himself get drawn back into Rin's painting, gently murmuring acceptance toward the silhouette canvas. What kind of things do you paint yourself? Oh, wrong voice. What kind of things do you paint yourself? As if waking from a reverie, he looks at me, surprised at my talking to him. Oh, I don't. Not anymore. I became an art teacher only after my career in that field came to an end. Now I just pass on knowledge to the next generation. The way Nomiya answers is curious, both giving and withholding information. I feel like asking more, but he cuts in before I get the chance. Now you should run along, my boy. It's almost dinner time, isn't it? Yes, sir. Have a good evening. You too. Interesting. Okay. I quickly collect my stuff and step out into the deserted hallway, leaving the teacher alone with his musings. The weekend will be here soon. It's amazing how fast time flies here. Promise I made I'd join her for the celebration of her triumph at the track meet last week. That should be plenty of fun. Are you sure you want to go? The weather that has been wonderful for all of June has finally taken a turn for the worse. The leaden clouds drooping over the town look worrisome as the air feels heavy and still, just like before rain. The forecast says there's a 60% chance of rain this afternoon. Maybe this will mark the beginning of the rainy season. Of course I'm sure, I've been waiting for this all week. Emmy had planned a picnic at some nearby park. Oh yeah, that's right. With snacks aplenty brought from the convenience store. And with the weather this gloomy, it seems risky. I asked some other people to come too, but they didn't want to go because of the weather. We have to prove them wrong. Wrong how? You know, like how it always rains when you think it won't, and when you think it will, it doesn't. We'll go no matter what, so it's a win-win situation. I've been going without sweets for weeks because of practice with the track meet, but now I can splurge on anything I want. Nothing's gonna stop me now. I thought you were all about a healthy lifestyle and stuff. Oh, Hisao, you understand so little. There's not a single girl on this planet who doesn't love sweets. I don't like sweets. I knew Rin didn't like sweets. She doesn't count. Hey! Anyway, is this clear? Completely. We will go and eat our fill of sweets. Damn straight we will. I'm gonna have to work it off later, but it's so worth it. Emmy seems to be extremely determined about this. She's positively exhilarated, brimming with energy as always, but something seems special today. Looks like she can hardly stop herself from jumping up and down on the spot. Come on! I grasp the wooden handle of the umbrella I brought and start to follow the two girls, who seem to have no qualms about leaving me behind if I keep daydreaming. My umbrella is really fancy, the old-fashioned kind with a curved handle and a metal spike at the end. It used to belong to my grandfather. It looks like an antique, but it's in really good shape, almost as good as new. It's really big too. I remember how my grandfather, my grandmother, and I all fit neatly under it when a rainstorm caught us on an afternoon walk years ago when I was around 9 or 10. My grandparents are both gone now, but I still have the umbrella to keep me dry when it rains. We walk along the road leading down from the school towards the convenience store, the clouds casting their dark shadow down on us. The weather seems to be taking a turn for the worse, and I'm pretty sure I just felt a raindrop on my head. Didn't you guys think of taking umbrellas? It really looks like it'll rain. Rin looks at her limply hanging sleeves and shrugs her shoulders. I don't have one. Besides, a little rain won't kill us. She pushes her chest out, looking very confident about that. We aren't made of sugar. I thought that's exactly what girls are made of, especially considering what you're planning to gorge yourself on today. She just sticks her tongue out in reply. The walk down from the school to the local shopping district is not a long one, but it's not very short either. It's all downhill, so our steps roll easily, but time stretches out nevertheless. The distance is right there, in that gray area where you don't expect the trip to be quickly over with. But you aren't preparing for a long walk either. Thus, the trip is slightly too long to stay comfortably quiet the whole time though. The girls don't seem to mind. Rin walks calmly ahead, seemingly lost in thought. I'm kind of wary about starting a conversation, since the last time didn't end very well for either of us. I haven't exchanged a single word with her since then. Emmy, on the other hand, is way too happy about just walking. She seems to literally jump a little on every step, or skip over cracks, or bounce with the edge of the sidewalk. Every now and then she comments on something to which Rin replies in an automatic-sounding, nonsensical way that makes Emmy giggle a little. As we reach the bottom of the hill, the first raindrops begin to fall. I feel one hit the top of my head, then 2 more hit my nose in quick succession. It's not 1 or 2 rain clouds anymore. The entire sky has turned shadowy gray, billowing rain clouds swirling up right on top of us. Oh shoot, I guess we aren't going to have a picnic then. What now? Well, I don't think we've been to the tea shop the entire story yet, so I think it's about time. Maybe we could have a rain picnic. A picnic in rain. No, we just all catch a cold, and I don't like getting me or my snacks wet. I kind of like it. Not the snacks part, though. Emmy considers our problematic situation for a moment while I open my umbrella and lift it up, trying to hold it so that all 3 of us get covered. Hey, Hisao, have you been to the Shanghai yet? Exactly. It's a cafe somewhere around here, right? I've heard of it. Mandatory Shanghai visit, yeah. It's a nice place. Let's go there and wait out the rain. If it's really just a quick shower, we can still go for the picnic.
Rin can get the door and hold the umbrella.
Yeah, sure. And if it gets worse, we'll just order cake there instead. Neither Rin nor I have better ideas, so with Emmy taking the lead, we start walking briskly along a side street. The cafe is only a few blocks away, but even with the umbrella, we can't avoid getting slightly damp. The rain keeps coming down harder and harder. Raindrops leave tiny dots on the black asphalt road, which then combine into bigger patches like points to list artist, artwork being made in front of our eyes in mere seconds. It's pouring heavily, drumming on the hoods of the cars parked on the sides of the street, and already flowing in little creeks along the sidewalks. The yellow light shining through the rainwater streaming down the windows looks very warm and inviting. I shake the excess water off the umbrella and head inside with them, following Emmy to a vacant table in the furthest corner of the small cafe. The place is almost full. Apparently, other people had the same idea as Emmy, and now we are all stranded together here in this cozy little place. Varnished wooden pillars and paper screens mixed with Parisian-style tables and chairs and discordant harmony, a contrast of old and new. Light jazz plays quietly in the background, though it's mostly drowned out by the murmur of the customers. There's only one waitress serving the full house, frantically gliding from one table to another and trying to keep up with everything. To my surprise, I think I recognize her. I watch her deliver a tray of teacups and pastries to another table taken by Yamaku students, then take an order from a middle-aged couple sitting across from us before finally turning to serve us. Yuko? Now that she's close and facing me, I see that it really is her, the part-time librarian of Yamaku in full waitress attire. It's a pretty cute outfit, and she has tied her hair. First time. She has tied her hair up in buns to match. Yeah, this... Who doesn't like some smooth jazz, you know? This is a good soundtrack. I hope it's not copyrighted, because that means the stream is gonna get stuck. It's a completely different image from her mousy, plain style at her other job. Yuko blinks a few times looking confused, then remembers that she was about to say something. Oh, welcome to the Shanghai. So you work here too? I thought you were a university student or something. Yes, that too. It's a part-time job, as you can see. It's Sunday, so there aren't any lectures. Good thing too, since today has been so busy. I'm wishing for another pair of hands. Anyway, I'm in a bit of a rush.
Copyright-protected jazz?
I do like copyright-protected jazz. Anyway, I'm in a bit of a rush, as you can see. What can I get you today? Emmy doesn't hesitate for even a second. Her eyes glitter like those of a kid in a candy store. Tea for everyone, and cake for me. Yuko tries to stay as formal and professional looking as possible, smiling cheerily at my ravenous companion. Yes, today we have a choice of strawberry shortcake, raspberry layer cake, or lemon meringue cup pie. Strawberry, no. Lemon, no. Actually, I'll take both.
I just got back from buying some pudding, jello, and yogurt. What did I miss for the past 40 minutes?
We may have pissed off Rin. Though what remains unclear is if that was if that's the good if that was a good thing to do here. I still have some faith that that was actually the right call. We'll see once we talk to Rin again. She looks at me in challenge. I'll take just the pie. Nothing. You can piss her off? Well, there was a dialogue option where we're trying to encourage Rin to do the art show. And there were 3 options. One of them I dismissed right away because it didn't sound like it would be important to Rin or Hisao's characters. And then 2 others that both sounded pretty compelling. I eventually went with one, and basically Rin's like, "You don't like my artwork?" So I'm just like, "Oof, maybe that wasn't the right choice." But we're gonna stick with it anyway. She hasn't even though she's right here, she hasn't spoken to us directly since then. So we'll see. Abby makes a face at Rin as though she had bitten into a lemon. She's clearly unhappy with her for not joining in. Oh, come on, Rin, that's not polite at all. Yeah, Hisao, you should aim high. Actually, I'll be angry with you if you don't. Yeah. And the reason why I think that's probably a the good option is because at this point in the story, Hisao and Rin are still very much alike. So the fact that Hisao is so angry on someone else he's angry on Rin's behalf because he's angry with himself for presumably the same reason. So that's why I think it's probably still the right choice. We'll see though. We're gonna continue. Nothing, thank you. No, you silly. I meant that you should order something too. I'll take a straw then. My feet are all wet. Sorry? The drinking kind of straw. 1, please. Yuko is obviously uncertain of what to think about this. She fiddles with her pen and stationery for a moment, looking like she's about to cry before deciding that we finished ordering. Thank you very much. She bows down a little too deeply and scampers to safety behind the counter. After that ordeal is over with, I have a chance to relax a bit and take a better look at the surroundings. Almost every table is occupied by people happy to be out of the rain, thankfully sipping their tea while waiting to dry off. Fragments of grumbling about the lousy weather or discussions over recent homework carry from nearby tables to my ears. Each one overlaps the other, but all are covered by the sound of falling rain. After a while, Yuko returns to our table, carrying a tray with a huge teapot, 3 cups, a slice of cake, and 2 slices of pie. She slaps the tray onto our tiny table with a clatter, almost sending the teapot toppling over into Rin's lap. We barely recover before she bows again and leaves, hurrying off to serve the other customers. Emmy has been eyeing her strawberry cake very hungrily all this time, but somehow she managed to contain herself until Yuko was out of sight. She digs in with gusto, while I content myself with pouring tea for everyone and placing the straw in Rin's cup. Rin looks at the way the tea swirls round and round in her white china cup, her eyes half closed, almost like she's being hypnotized. I pick up my fork and eye the food in front of me. The pie I got looks perfectly done, a thick layer of meringue atop creamy lemon custard. After having the first bite, I pause, savoring the combination of tangy citrus and smooth, sugary meringue. It's quite good, though a bit too sweet for me. Very good. She's talking through a mouthful of cake, already halfway through her slice, even though it's not exactly small. I want to taste some of that. What is a meringue? I don't even know, to be honest. It's very sugary from what I think, at least. Before I get to respond, she strikes out at my delicious pie, takes a piece with her fork, and escapes with it. This is pretty good too. What are you doing? You have a slice of your own. High range. Hi, Yami. Yeah, but if I started on that before finishing the cake, it'd be rude, don't you think? Her insolence is outrageous, but the gentleman in me allows for no retaliation. I glare angrily at her, and she replies by sticking out her tongue impishly. Emmy is even more hyper than usual today, but I don't mind. It's good for her to let off some steam. You should have ordered some orange pie. I take another sip of the tea in my cup. It's good and hot, even though I don't usually care much for tea, and the atmosphere in the cafe is very relaxing. I don't mind spending the rest of this afternoon here. Not even after Emmy orders her second piece of strawberry cake, and Rin spends most of the time staring fixedly at the rain streaming down from the heavens. It's pronounced meringue, oh, and 2, it's made from mainly egg whites and sugar. Ah. Even Yuko rolls her eyes at the third piece of cake disappearing into Emmy's bottomless stomach just as quickly as the previous 2. Despite the passing of time, it's still raining outside when we exit the Shanghai, though it seems to be letting up a little. It doesn't look like it is! Hi, Ring. Alright, now you're just making fun of me. Too bad I had to rain on your parade. Weren't we supposed to have a picnic? Emmy doesn't look too distraught over this turn of events. Nah, it's fine. We had a good time, didn't we? I feel really pumped up. It isn't even raining that hard anymore. I kinda wanna hike back to school to get rid of this energy and work off some of that cake. Rain on your parade because it's raining! Well, yeah. Duh. She stretches her arms out and arches her back like a cat. After rolling her shoulders around twice, she smiles brightly. Man, I can't really run with these legs, though, especially uphill. I wish I brought my other ones. This notion sounds odd, spoken so casually, but I guess for Emmy, changing legs is sort of like someone else changing shoes. Maybe if I walk really fast, that'll be kind of like running. I think I'll do that. That's called speed walking, Emmy. You're in track. You ought to know that. I won't be able to keep up with that going uphill, though. I really am in bad shape. Plus, you'll get wet without an umbrella. It's hardly even a drizzle right now. Does this look like hardly a drizzle to you? A few drops won't hurt. I think I'm gonna go to the track after I change my legs, too. Emmy skips away from the protection of my umbrella and goes on ahead at a brisk pace. Suddenly, she seems to remember something as she stops and spins around. See you tomorrow. Come eat lunch with us on the roof. I'll bring enough for 3. Rin and I are left to watch her wave at us and skip off again. Soon she disappears around a street corner. I'll never understand why Emmy is perpetually in such a hurry to get somewhere. Ah, good, she left, and now it's time for that terrifying talk with Rin. So, would you like me to walk you back to school so that at least one of you won't get wet? If you're happy with it. It seems neither of us wants to keep alive the strained atmosphere from the argument a few days ago in the art room, which makes me feel relieved. I don't want to bear grudges, and I'm happy that Rin feels the same way. Thus, it is decided that we are content with each other's company for now, and we start walking in the same direction as Emmy, albeit at a considerably calmer pace.
Hisso stays in bad shape and doesn't get as much exercise unless he's paired with Emmy. Emmy route is the best confirmed.
True. I get a bit closer to Rin, even though the umbrella is already big enough to shelter us both. I can feel her nearby warmth, providing a contrast to the chill of this rainy weather. Raindrops hitting the umbrella make a distinctive sound, playing the staccato melody of rainfall for nobody in particular.
Rin can hold the umbrella.
No, she can't, you dumbass. I realize I haven't been outside in the rain for what feels like forever. I inhale, taking in the scent of rain, feeling the weather with all my senses. How you liking the Rin route? So far, so good. I mean, we might have messed it up already, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty confident we did good. The world melts into a blur inside the rain. The colors of the sky have deepened from gray to dark blue, with hues of red added to the mix, from the sunlight reflecting off the clouds. The low-hanging sky looks pretty, as if I could reach out my hand and touch it. Have I told you how much I like rain? It's like painting. It makes me feel connected. Almost echoing my thoughts, Rin lets out one of her own. It slips out of her mouth, circling around us gently. Everything looks so soft, like the outlines of things just disappear. I like that. It's like the rain is hugging me. Her voice sounds different from usual. More gentle now, and soft. I wonder if it's only because of the rain, or because of the mood the rain brought upon the quiet artist girl. Have I told you how much I hate sand? It's rough and coarse and gets everywhere. The routes are fully obvious at the first few picks, 100%. I think I've gotten the good route every single time, so I haven't really seen much of what going the bad route looks like. But so far I think we're on the right track now. I feel that mood in myself too, enhanced by her words. Yeah, I like rainy weather too. It's nice every once in a while. I wonder what it is about the rain. Everything. A silence follows the statement. It allows for no continuation. I decide to push the direction of the conversation a little. But you know, you like the feeling of being connected. What's the problem with showing your paintings to others? Ori is just too good to know about bad endings. That's how he's able to steal waifus so easily. Seems the bad route is less interaction. I'll take your word for it, because again, I haven't seen bad routes. Don't you want to be connected to other people? It's not the same thing. You're comparing apples and squids. I brought up the subject Rin wants to avoid, and it shuts her down again. The question stays hanging between us for the rest of the trip back to school. I can't help wondering what on earth I could have said to truly reach Rin. Does she feel that she's lacking an identity? She has a strong personality, but if pressed to elaborate, I'm not sure I could describe it accurately. She feels like a person who is in constant conflict with herself. I never know what to expect when I talk to her. I wonder how she herself experiences that disconnect. If Rin is asking herself every day, who am I? It obsessively paints images to define herself day after day. What does she think of that way of living? The irony is, that's the exact same question I've been asking myself for the past 4 or 5 months. For me, it was miserable. I can only assume that it's the natural state of being for this girl. When we stop in front of the dormitories, Rin turns to face me, as if sensing my thoughts from afar. Her gaze travels emptily past my left shoulder into the shapeless rainfall. Her dark eyes seem to suck the low ambient light into themselves, like a reverse mirror. That empty gaze lets nothing out. If I want to understand what's going on behind those eyes, I have to work it out myself. Rin opens her mouth, then closes it without saying anything. The silence lasts for a few more moments before she takes a step towards the dorm building door. See you tomorrow. Act 2 title drop. Dun dun dun! The next morning, like every second Monday morning until he says otherwise, I have an appointment with a nurse. They allow me to skip part of my first class in the morning, and I don't feel any shame in skipping the rest either. Rather than being thankful I get to miss world history, I instead feel dread when I think about these appointments. Excuse me. I wake up at the normal time anyway and wash myself in the bathroom I share with Kenji, tidying my sleep-disheveled hair. I quickly get dressed and put my laundry in the basket. I pack up for the school day. I have all my homework done, like usual, so I have a bit of free time now. There's no point in going to the morning class for 20 minutes before I'd have to get to the nurse's office, so I lie down on my bed and read a book until it's time to go. The door to the nurse's office is open, which is unusual. I enter while knocking to announce my arrival. Looking up from his computer screen, he motions me to take a seat with a friendly hello. Steam wafts up from a piping hot cup of coffee on his desk. It's probably not his first today. How are you feeling on this wonderful morning, Hisao? I'm alright, I think. It was cold yesterday because of the rain, so I woke up feeling a bit groggy. You too, huh? Quite a few kids got caught without an umbrella, so we've been spending time handing out masks and curing sniffles. Alright. Today it's test day. Give me your arm. I extend my left arm towards him, keeping my face expressionless. The nurse ties a rubber tourniquet around my bicep with a practice movement, and briskly goes about its business. I don't think anybody really likes getting stuck with needles, but at least I got over my distaste for them. I had to. Now I barely even twitch at the moment of truth. Once that's done, a blood pressure check follows. Then there are checklists and questionnaires to go through. The nurse nods and scribbles in my answers to the questions as I give them. Alright, let's have a listen now. I unbutton my shirt and put it neatly on the back of the chair I was using while he puts on his stethoscope. It's been 3 routes he was absent from. Yeah, he hasn't been around much. I know by heart the order of places where he's going to listen to my lungs and heartbeat. I adjust my breathing to even and deep without even being asked. It's become routine now, for both of us. It's funny, this is pretty much the only time in one's life when you really concentrate on breathing and nothing else. It has always amused me. You are now manually breathing. The nurse lifts the cold steel stethoscope from my chest and places it a few inches lower, listening again. The contact of the metal makes me flinch on reflex, even though I was expecting it. He furrows his brow, but I can't tell if it's because he's unhappy or if he's trying to pick something specific out among the complex multitude of irregularities in my heartbeat. God damn it. Is there something wrong? Please don't talk. And also be aware of your tongue in your mouth. I shut up and become even more anxious. The nurse is nice, but I can't help disliking these mandatory checkups. I wonder if I'm going to end up hating all medical appointments from now on because of these. He finally... Honestly fair. He finally lifts the circular metal plate from my chest, allowing me to talk again. He's Emmy's stepdad? More or less. I mean, not really, but also yes, you know? You're now manually blinking. Okay, that one got me. I wasn't even thinking of that, and now I am. Oh, I just ruined myself thinking about all those too, so... Oops. Everything seems to be fine. Are you feeling alright yourself? I suppose. I was out yesterday when it was raining, and yeah, I really feel a bit under the weather in the morning. Maybe I caught a cold? Were you with Emmy? She came down with a cold too. My people told her to stay in bed for a day or two. Really? I mean, I was with her, but I didn't know she got sick. Guess it was a dumb thing after all, for her to go out in the rain like that. Yeah, well, let's put that aside. Everything seems to check out for you, but remember to be careful. Of course, I really don't want to go back to the hospital. He catches something, maybe a repressed terror, I don't know, in my voice and glances up from some papers he was looking at. Hey, don't worry, at this stage, it would take a huge crash in your condition to get you re-hospitalized. Foreshadowing. It doesn't really reassure me, but grumbling about it to him won't make any difference. I quietly take my leave. Walking along the corridor from the auxiliary building to the main school building, I encounter a young female nurse coming the other way. She smiles at me when we pass by each other. The lobby is empty of people. No surprise, since classes are still going on. I hear a muffled sound of discussion coming from behind the first floor classroom doors. I glance at my watch. I'd have to rush to get to my classroom in time, and I don't feel like going to class anyway, so I decide to climb up to the roof and have an extra long lunch break. Emmy promised she'd bring something for me today, but if she's sick, that's probably not going to happen. I'm not feeling hungry anyway, so it's all the same. And we're going to bump into Rin. Climb up the steep stairwells of the roof is oddly liberating, almost like losing weight. I feel satisfaction that it doesn't wind me as badly as it did the first time I came up here. I think wind. It wind me was the right word there. I push open the squeaky door at the top and step into sunlight. The chain link fence allows for a grand view over the treetops, all the way to the gray silhouettes of downtown, further away. The dreary weather of yesterday is just a memory now. The silvery blue sky seems to be a mere arm's reach away. I forget for a moment that I'm in a bad mood. The warmth of the sun soaks into my bones, making me drowsy and lazy instead. The bells ring for lunch break, startling me back into reality. Soon afterwards, the quad below me bursts into life. Students pour out of the doors down on the ground floor, intent on enjoying lunch at the quad in the lush gardens in this perfect weather. When I hear the door to the stairwell being pushed open, I don't bother turning to see who it is. I don't recall Rin getting caught with us in the rain on Emmy's route. I don't remember either, but that's probably because that happened like 6 months ago. The intruder starts coming towards me with uneven footsteps. The little river stones the roof is covered with rattle and crunch underfoot. The footsteps stop a few feet behind me, followed by a silence. I look upwards into the glowing eye of the sun, absorbing its warmth with my whole body. In Emmy's route, Emmy gave her cold to Rin. What a meanie. What are you doing? I turn around out of courtesy at her very first words to behold the slim, awkward figure of Ren Tezuka. She looks very much like herself today, too. Her hair is maybe a tad messier than usual, as if she just got out of bed. She stands with her weight shifted onto one foot, looking at me with mild curiosity, as if I were something in a store's display window. Deja vu, right? Although this time the tables are turned. I don't know, I'm just spacing out, I guess. What about you? Emmy promised food. We usually eat here. I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed. I heard Emmy came down with a cold. Oh, I guess that makes sense. She wasn't in class. It's not that common to get a cold in June, though. You don't think she went running in the tracks afterwards like she said? The rain just kept going. Orange, I have a present for you. Oh no. I don't like where this is going. Go on. Missed his chance to say, I thought you had an arm problem, not an eye problem. Why would he say that? Probably. In the rain? In the rain. That sounds like a bit too much for just keeping up with the training regime. Her training regime. Her training Reggie Rock. Emmy is a hard-headed one, though, so I can see her running in the downpour just because she had to. Well, that's obviously overdoing it. Probably why she came down with that cold, too. But I guess it's kind of cool. Speaking of that, I'm not feeling well either. Achoo. Rin sneezes pretty hard, failing to stop it in time. She cranes her head down to wipe her nose on her shoulder, so deciding that would be too unladylike, I put out my handkerchief and hold it to her nose. Here, bless you. Thank you. She clears her nose and I dab the handkerchief gently on it, wiping it clean. She read the script in an alternative reality. Her nose is really cute. Oddly enough, it's probably the girliest part of Rin's face. I think I'm blushing a little, but Rin doesn't notice. Thanks. I think I better be coming up or down with something too. Like I was saying. Hope not. Happy birthday, Orange. Happy birthday? Birthday? Is today my birthday now?
Oh no, Hisao is observing her face features more.
It's my birthday now. I guess it's my birthday now. I have a present for you. Oh no. I don't know where this is going. I'm scared. You're scaring me. Rin doesn't seem to be bothered about eating, so despite the lack of Emmy-provided lunch, we stay up on the rooftop. She comes over and stands next to me, right up against the fence, looking into the same abstract distance as I am. Don't be a Tayami, what's the worst she can do? Don't underestimate her. Nobody else seems to be coming around to intrude upon this calmness either. It's quiet and peaceful. What does one do on a lunch break if not eat? It turns out that, between the two of us, we don't really know. Fortunately, passing time is an activity that manages itself just fine. Even though there's no conversation to fill the silence between the passing seconds, no pointless activities like cloud gazing spend upon the minutes between now and then, time marches on relentlessly. I keep checking the time on my watch, then decide it's a dumb thing to do. Instead, try to hold out as long as possible before I check it again. Maybe I can hold out for 5 or 6... Where did 5 come from? For 6 or 7 minutes. Rin remains silent, idly looking up at the cerulean expanse above us. I wonder why, more often than not, we don't speak much. She said that she doesn't like speaking because of her perceived difficulties with expressing herself properly. As for me, I think I just got sucked up into the habit at the hospital, where I spent such a long stretch of time never really talking to anyone. Most of the time, I feel comfortable about this quiet mood. And even when I get the feeling that I have to break the silence, it's always so difficult to come up with something to talk about when it's with Rin. She and I are on such different wavelengths that nothing seems to be on common ground. What is it that you like about the sky so much? She turns to me, her eyes dark and serious. Sky is the only thing that is perfect. I know it. You could say I'm an expert of sky if you wanted. And I am even if you didn't want to. A sky expert. It's always different, but it's always perfect also when it's different. I follow her gaze up to the boundless blue expanse, thinking of her words. Have you ever wanted to be something different? It wouldn't be so bad to be the sky. No, I mean, someone else. Someone different. Let's go to a normal school like everyone else. Not have to worry about stuff. What stuff? I try to find the right words for a moment, but can't manage to form a sentence that I'd be comfortable with actually using. Man, I don't really want to say it aloud. Try. I'm not good at mind reading. Don't you ever want to not be disabled? Now that it's your birthday orange, your gift is losing your life. I knew it! I knew I should have been worried. She thinks about this, and then shakes her head, frowning. That's a hard question. I don't know what to say. It's okay if you don't say anything. For some reason, I'm just so unsatisfied with who I am right now that I'm constantly thinking about stuff like that. It's pretty hard to admit, but there it is. Honestly, I feel relieved about finally saying it aloud to someone, even if it's just Rin. In Minecraft, then I'll be giving you 64 diamonds. Honestly, I feel relieved about finally saying it aloud to someone, even if it's just Rin. Oh, I already read that. I think I want to be different sometimes. I've thought about changing myself lately, but it's a bit scary, like walking backwards with your eyes closed. The difficult part is to know where your toes are not pointing. I mean, directions. Even if I don't do anything, I would never stay the same. It's like my old paintings. They're different than what I paint now, because I'm different. But they are still my paintings, so there's something same. That's really strange. I am different every day.
Miami will cast explosions on you next, Bald Gate Trace.
Oh, yeah, she absolutely will, but that's, you know. I'm different every day, but I'm still me every day. Who am I then? Is that a riddle? If you want it to be. I don't know the right answer though, so you have to come up with it yourself. Well, it's the sky, isn't it? Going by your definition just now. I actually managed to surprise her by that. Maybe she had already forgotten about it. That's right, but I was thinking about myself when I said that. Very strange. Could it be that I actually am the sky? I don't think that's possible. Your logic's a bit off somewhere. She looks down and shuts up, and I can see she's quickly going over the deduction mentally, seemingly unhappy with the result she finally arrives at. Yeah, maybe I'm not the sky. Would make sense. I have a hard time knowing what kind of a person I am. You're not the only one. It's like my mind is in some other place than the rest of me. Underwater? Yeah, I wonder how it got there. I have no answer, so a brief silence falls between us for a moment. I shift my gaze back to the sky above us. The last time I really paid much attention to the sky was... I guess it must have been at the hospital. I could only see a thin strip of the sky from the window of my room. If I walked up to the windows and pressed my face against the cold glass, the strip became bigger, but not by much. That sky made me feel sad and lonely, a reminder of the world on the other side. I wonder if there's another world beyond the sky we see up from here on the school's roof as well. I can't stop comparing life at Yamaku to my hospitalization. But I really should. I'm not there anymore. The narrow sky from the window of my hospital room, the faces of the doctors, the faces of my parents, the off-white walls everywhere, and Wanako's letter echoing the words she never said. They're things of the past now. I wish I could forget everything up until now, and that time would stop completely. There would be only me, Rin, and the sky. An eternal lunch break on this rooftop. Perfect, unchanging, and forever. I'm not sure if I like or hate this school. I could have gone to a normal school if I wanted, but I chose to come here. Why? I just decided I would. Kinda like melon or plum jelly. Do you think it was a good idea? I mean, there are a lot of good things about the school, but I think there are a few bad things also. I know. I kinda collect people, because they're interesting. People here are really amazing. Most of them, but not all. Some people can't take it. They hurt too much. It gets really bad sometimes, you know. They hurt. I wonder if you're like that too. I hope not. I don't like things like that. Hey, I'm not your case study. I'm not gonna just give up and die or anything. Anyway, I meant more that this place is too distant from the real world. What's the real world? Everything out there. Real people with normal, everyday lives that fit together like a puzzle. You don't think we aren't like that? Real people? Maybe we aren't. Well, no, we are. I just mean that it feels more like we're leftover pieces. Rin thinks for a while, her almond-shaped eyes narrowing as she bites her lip a little bit, like a child. Is it hard to be disabled? Her question earns a dry chuckle from me. You tell me. You've been in this business a lot longer than I have. She thinks about that for another while. I don't really feel that disabled. I mean, I do pretty much everything differently. It's not that hard. I can always practice. I've started to practice food things this year. I think I want to learn how to cook in a real kitchen someday. That's admirable, but I don't think it's just a state of mind. Why not, buddy? Maybe not to you. I have no good counter to that, so I concede by falling silent. The situation is making me more and more confused. I know what I want, but I don't know how to reach it. Rin seems to believe she can simply will herself into the shape she thinks she needs to be, but can't decide whether she wants to be a bird or a butterfly. I think, in the end, I'm not really that happy with who I am either, but that doesn't mean I regret being who I am. That's the thing that's wrong with you, Hisao. I've only started to process that rather blunt statement before Rin suddenly hugs me. What are you doing? I've never been hugged by a girl with no arms before. To be honest, it doesn't really physically feel like a hug. The awkward way she presses her body against mine, and the lack of embracing arms make it feel like she fell on top of me. But the warmth of a real hug is still there, and that's how I recognize it for what it is. I'm hugging you, Hisao. I know that, but... Is it wrong? I thought this is what you're supposed to do. I'm not really used to this kind of thing. The first time Memby hugged me and I got surprised, I kicked her in the stomach. I can kick pretty hard, so she hasn't been hugging me an awful lot after that. It's not wrong, just... No, it's just me. Things are a bit hard for me. For the time being. I can't seem to properly react to anything. Really? So it is hard being disabled after all. I guess she has me cornered there. I don't have the energy to start arguing against it, but I feel like I have to get something out. Well, no, it's not hard. It's just me overthinking things. I really wish I didn't feel so sorry for myself all the time. I wonder if I was always this fragile, or if I became this way after my incident. Nothing had ever truly shaken my world like that before, so there's no telling. Rin presses her cheek against me tightly. I can feel the warmth of her body close against me. Her body temperature feels really high, as if she had absorbed a water break. As if she had absorbed the sunlight into herself and was now sharing it with me. Or perhaps it's a natural state for her. It's the most comforting thing I've felt in a long, long time. Wow, your heartbeat really does sound weird. It's like a drunken percussion orchestra. Please don't say stuff like that. I get very uncomfortable. I laugh at her comment anyway, in an attempt to ease the tension. It sounds a little bit too forced. Man, I'm sorry I'm such a mess.
Is she planking or hugging?
It's okay. It's the best part of you. Hearing that doesn't make me happy. She breaks off the hug and settles down. Orange, please stop gooning. An awkward silence falls upon us like a blanket. Me feeling embarrassed about myself, and Rin trying to arrange her expression to something she likes. One last time, I glance upwards. This rooftop is really great. It's like I'm just a bit closer to the sky. I know a better place, but we can't go there on lunch break. I can take you there sometime if you want. The bells ring for the beginning of the afternoon classes, and Rin stands up to make her way downstairs. I don't hurry after her, deciding to stay up here for just a little while longer. Thanks for the hug. Thanks for not kicking me. After Rin leaves, I finally let tears roll down my cheeks and cry for my condition for the first and only time in my life. Then I cast away that hollow person lying in the hospital bed. Forever. Aww. He didn't hug her back, so she just kind of was leaning up against him for like a prolonged period of time. Oh well. 2 days later, I'm feeling less miserable. I even go for a long, brisk, healthy walk like the nurse recommended. Something which I had avoided and dodged with all sorts of excuses earlier. I feel more active in class as well, delighting our science/homeroom teacher, Mr. Muto, with correct and promptly delivered answers. The break right now between the 2 morning classes is too short for any sort of meaningful activity, but too long to just spend it sitting in the classroom and doing nothing. Going out into the hallway isn't much better, but flexing my stiffened muscles is a better use of time than letting them get even stiffer by staying seated. The door of the neighboring classroom door opens, and the students of 3-4 emerge to further fill up the already semi-crowded hallway. It seems their teacher kept them in a few extra minutes. Emmy is among them. She notices me noticing her, which almost makes me look away on reflex. I don't, however, and Emmy smiles at me as she happily skips towards me past the other students. Emmy looks pretty energetic, showing no signs of illness whatsoever. It seems she recovered from the cold. Hey, good morning. Nice to see you back on your feet. Feeling better now? She looks fine to me, but I still feel compelled to ask. Thanks, and yeah, I do. It was just a cold, nothing serious. Emmy laughs confidently, as if to emphasize her condition. I wonder for a moment what would count as serious in Emmy's book. Sal, bro, I know, right? She seems to be eager to put the topic aside, though. Where are you going? Off to Rin's room to see if she's awake yet. Oh, you skipped the morning class? A sheepish smile emerges on Emmy's face and she gets slightly flustered. Not exactly. It seems that she caught the cold I had. Sorry to hear that. Well, she was out in the rain on Sunday with us, after all. I saw her on Monday and she was feeling a bit under the weather back then, too. Yeah, anyway, I'll ask the nurse for some cold medication to give her if she doesn't get better soon. She leaves for the girls' dorm. I want to go with her to wish her in well. I want to tell her that I'm better now, too, but it doesn't feel appropriate. An unspecified feeling diverts my thoughts away. Somehow, I just can't summon the resolve to go in there. Is this what Iwanika went through when she tried to tell me what she felt? Isao said it, not us this time. True. Even though I'm feeling more energetic, I'm still hesitant about going over there to talk to Rin. It's not until 2 days later, on Friday, that I finally gather enough courage to enter the girls' dorm. I ask the first person I meet inside for directions to Rin's room. I knock on Rin's unmarked door and wait. After a few seconds of silence, I hear something rustling inside the room. I start wondering if maybe I should have brought something from her, like a can of warm coffee or some oranges. Me! Orange, may I ask why in the right side you're not your Naruto run with bread in your mouth? No, you can't. I start wondering if maybe I should have brought something from her, like a can of warm coffee or some me. I could have peeled them for her. Well, too late now. The door opened soundlessly. It was already unlocked, and I find myself staring at Rin, who stares back at me. You die today. She looks like she just got out of bed, with her hair all messed up. And barely any clothes on. Awkward. Hello. Sorry. Hello. There was a strange, stupid-looking smile on Rin's face. I'm not exactly sure why. Rin smiles so rarely that it seems to be out of place every time, especially so now, given her partially undressed state. Said state makes me feel extremely conflicted about whether or not this was a good idea. Her cheeks are flushed rose red, contrasting with the milky pale complexion of a person who doesn't get enough sunlight. Her forehead looks sweaty, as though she might have a fever. Hi! Now what? I didn't plan anything further than this, and Rin is staring at me with those expectant eyes of hers again. Something about this situation gives me very strange vibes. Her eyes are even more vacant than usual, and she seems to have a hard time focusing them on anything. The lack of clothing is disturbing, but since she herself doesn't seem to be bothered, why should I be? I keep telling myself that. I thought I'd pay you a visit since you haven't been at the art club, and I wanted to talk with you and wish you well. Rin doesn't show any sign of recognizing what I just said, making me wonder if she actually understood my words, or if she even heard them. Maybe it's the fever making her groggy. She might have actually been asleep before I came over. Okay. She turns on her heel and withdraws from the door, walking back inside the small room. From the doorway, I can see her walk to her bed and half fall down, half sit down on the messy pile of bedsheets. The open doorway seems to be more of an obstacle in my mind than the closed door was, but since Rin doesn't say anything else, I step through it and into her room. Too early en route for fish? Well, we'll see about that. Rin is on her bed leaning against the wall, leaving the only chair in the room for me. She keeps quiet even after I sit down, so maybe she meant to invite me in, but just forgot to say so aloud. An implied invitation, as it were. Very exciting. Nobody has ever visited me before. The breaking of the silence draws my attention from the room to its inhabitant, who currently seems to be in the middle of a very profound thought process. Actually, that was not true about visiting, but Emmy doesn't count even if she visits. She always pampers me too much. I think she's having too much fun. I haven't failed to notice that Rin doesn't have her shirt buttoned up, but I try to keep my eyes strictly locked on hers. It's rather evident that she's not a very body-conscious person. My own body, however, is quite conscious of hers right now. That is a really interesting way to say that I'm not finishing that sentence. She came to wake me up at 7:30 today. Can you imagine that? She pauses for a while and glances up at my dumbfounded face. On second thought, you probably can. It's not like that reverse rainbow fish I tried to imagine earlier. That was hard. Well, yes, that seems like a pretty normal time to wake up if you want to go to class in the morning. Keep it within pantaloons, Orange. I'm trying to sound as reasonable as possible to counteract Rin's unreasonable annoyance. Told her to sod off. She gave me these meds and told me to take them. I follow her eyes to the night table, and then to the pill bottle sitting on top of it. I pick it up and turn it around to look at the label so I can see what kind of medication Emmy brought. Active ingredient. Codeine? You took all of these? No. Yes, I've been eating some since there's so many of them. Seems to make this thing not so bad. I don't think you should have did that. Actually, I think I'm feeling just fine. Her head lolls round and round, making it look like she's either trying to stretch her neck muscles or possibly pass out. She took several of these pills? Can that be safe? At least it's bound to have some side effects, which I'm afraid I'm witnessing right now. Dude, you have the bottle in your hand. Just read the dosage. Oh, hey, the thing I'm allergic to. Oof. I am feeling just fine. I am fine. Just someone take this buzzing away from my head. I can't think straight. The annoyed expression returns to Rin's face. It's like many of those insect things. Or one really big insect thing. With lots of wings, very much color and everything. What's the word for those? Oh, never mind, I remembered. It's butterflies. She smiles slightly at her last observation. A small pause in her monologue is not long enough for me to dare say something that could potentially, but not likely, salvage this discussion. I love butterflies. They're the best animal. Did you see any on your way here? Miss Ao? She utters my name as an afterthought, possibly to make clear that she is now addressing me, instead of just speaking her mind to whoever might be listening. This odd situation has left me speechless, more or less, since the moment Rin first opened her mouth. Now that she herself doesn't seem to have anything else to add, silence fills the small room. It makes me glance around again, in an attempt to find something to talk about. Rin's room is about as small as mine. The big window, which takes up most of the wall, furthest from the door, opens to the east, just like mine. It looks very normal, which strikes me as strange. I expected something more different. About a dozen paintings, most of them in Rin's signature abstract art style, and a few art posters are taking up almost all the available wall space. That's about the only real difference between her room and mine.
Call the doctor, she needs to be Ubered.
She really does, buddy. Hisao, you gotta read the label, see how much she should have taken, and maybe get her to the nurse. The room is not exactly aesthetic, but it doesn't look what I expected from a girl's room either. A faint smell of art, of paint and paper is floating in the air. It's the same smell the art room has. Rin isn't too concerned about being tidy, it seems. Everything she owns seems to be arranged in various piles around her room. Your room looks nice. It's an empty sentence. One uses to fill empty spaces in conversations, but my wits are failing me pretty hard right now. Because he's got a bone. It is very nice that you came to see me. Makes me feel very, what's the word? You know, the one about things and stuff. Anyway, you came. Rin's rambling makes me remember that I actually came here for a reason. Hey, about what we talked about on Monday on the rooftop, remember? Huh? Rin doesn't seem to be exactly attentive right now. Not that she ever is. I plow ahead and get it off my chest anyway. I just wanted to tell you that I'm gonna be better from now on. I guess. I hate being pathetic, so I decided that I'm not gonna be anymore. I guess that's all. Okay. Isn't that good? The blurry words flow out of her lips slowly and uncontrollably. I'm happy for you, I think. That's what I think. You shouldn't look so sad all the time. I mean, looking sad is fine if you're not sad, but you look sad like you're actually sad. That's not good. Are you going on some training camp where they make men out of boys? Or mountaintop meditation? No, I don't think so. Oh, I guess that's fine too. The sentences come out of her mouth and probably her brain, one at a time with a small pause between each, making her gibberish hard to understand. I just think it seemed like a good idea. Maybe it's not. Rin finishes with one more line, getting to say the last word over herself. An impressive display of what I can only describe as mental shadowboxing. While I'm embarrassing myself, I might as well tell you that I'm sorry that I said some stupid things to you last week. It's your own business to decide what you're gonna do. She seems to not register my words first, but then understanding lights in her eyes as she waves her head around in a way that could be interpreted as anything. It's okay. I probably said stupid things too. It's just sometimes a bit hard to keep my thoughts the way I like them. They're not very straight, at least most of the time. Not that I want to have them straight, I just wish they were at least in some shape. Round is fine too, but I need more definition. My thoughts are very messy. Messy. She repeats the word melancholically, then flops lying down on her bed and nuzzles her head against her pillow, shutting her eyes. Enough. Tired. You should go. I'm going to sleep again. She opens one of her eyes to look at me. Was it you who likes to look at sleeping girls? Or someone else? Maybe there were many of those. I can't remember. You can stay if you want. No, I'll leave. I have to do homework anyway. I stand up from the chair and take a step towards the door. Wait. Her request stops me in my tracks. Not that I intended to scoot off right away anyway. I look over at my what is that face? I look over my shoulder at the girl lying on her bed, again with the strangest kind of smile on her features. She should smile more often. I can walk you to the door. It's the least a gentleman can do. Rin giggles like a little kid, making me beyond absolutely certain that she took far too much of her cold medication today. That smile. That damn smile. I've always wanted to say that. Slowly, and with difficulty, Rin first rises to a sitting position again. Then she stands up with even more difficulty, and more slowly still. Rin is standing, although barely. It looks like she has trouble keeping her usually decent balance. Again, probably a side effect of the medicine. She takes an unsteady step towards me, then another, smaller one, as she notices that it's not a good idea to try to take big steps. I feel my muscles tense as I prepare to catch Rin if she falls down. Oh! She manages to take 2 more steps before she falls against me. To my surprise, neither her downwards momentum nor our slight height difference are able to stop Rin from pressing her heart-shaped lips squarely against mine. As our lips part after a confusing moment of nothing but the taste of Rin, I look down at her, trying to find some explanation for this bewildering event. The euphoric smile of a madman broadens on Rin's lips again, and... I wonder if I will remember this tomorrow. I am absolutely stumped on how to respond. Rin takes a step backwards, separating her body from mine, and making me only now realize that they were even connected in the first place. The second step is actually a fall backwards, luckily straight onto her bed. The soft thud Rin's thin body makes against the mattress breaks the silence. I move quickly over to her to see if she hurt herself, only to be met with the peaceful face of dreaming. Rin sleeps. She is lying diagonally across the bed, somehow managing to have simultaneously fallen asleep while standing up, and fallen down in a way that she didn't injure herself. Fool's luck. I tuck Rin in, covering her with the sheets as well as I can. She feels very light, even though I am not that strong. I stand up to look at her, the oval-shaped face, the dark eyelashes shut against the feverish cheek, the slender body covered with the pale sheets. Rin sleeps. Conflicts, plural, churn inside of me. I think about calling a nurse to keep an eye on her, but decide against it. After taking one more glance at her peaceful face, I decide that she'll be fine. I do pocket the remaining pills, though. I exit the room and close the door soundlessly behind me. I exhale deeply, only now realizing I had held my breath for the better part of a minute. Taking a moment to relax, I try to calm down my heart, racing like a jackrabbit. And the next morning he wakes up, having caught the cold. I'm trying to remember, doesn't he actually catch the cold from Emmy and her route? So it makes sense that he catches it in this one too. I had trouble getting to sleep that night, so the next morning finds me exceptionally groggy. I briefly consider skipping class, but remind myself that I was supposed to be a stronger person now. I get up like a good boy and put on my uniform, then make my way to the school building without eating breakfast. I sit in my seat, classroom 3-3, waving a greeting to Misha and Shizni like I do every morning and let the day wash over me. The afternoon classes are always longer than those in the morning. This is true regardless of whether I count by the minute or by the number of doodles drawn in my notebooks. Misao gets over it fast. It's Emmy that takes a turn for the worse. Oh, okay, that's what it was. Today I'm especially distracted as I keep thinking about Rin. Did I manage to properly tell her that I want to get better? Did she understand a word of what I was saying? I think about the kiss we shared and what it means. She was so out of her mind, maybe it means nothing. But we've been getting closer lately. What does that mean? I think about Rin more and more nowadays. I wonder if she thinks about me. The ringing of bells make me flinch, and then realize that I haven't been paying attention during the latter half of class at all. I look at the assortment of sketches traveling up and down the margins of my notebook, the only thing I got done in the last hour. Feeling vaguely disappointed in myself, I pack up and get to the hallway. Rin is standing right outside the door, her presence stopping me in my tracks as soon as I spot her. Her posture is relaxed, as always, but I suddenly feel like I just ate a crowbar. I'm having a hard time meeting her gaze. She doesn't seem to have any trouble looking at me, but those dark eyes are making me feel flustered for no reason. It's hard to look straight at her, so I turn my face away a little. I don't know what one should say in this kind of situation. Then again, I rarely know what to say to Rin in any given situation. Hi? Hello? I try to get rid of the awkwardness in my voice and invoke a more natural way of speaking. I suddenly worry about where I should put my hands. It feels like they're in the way somehow. How are you feeling? You were pretty out of it yesterday. I'm okay. What do you mean yesterday? You don't remember? She tilts her head to the side like a bird, looking somewhat confused. Remember what? I have a pretty bad memory. About yesterday. What about yesterday? I came to see you and... I don't remember that kind of thing happening. She really doesn't remember? I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I feel disheartened all the same. I remember that I promised to show you one place, though. Did that happen for real? Maybe I just think that I remember that, and I really don't. No, that was real too. Okay, you want to go? Now? Yeah. Well, sure, why not? Is it far? It's not. It's Together, we walk downstairs and then outside. The usual summer day, whirring cicadas and all, greets us. It's immensely hot, and without the air conditioning the classrooms offer, I start sweating immediately. We start along the tree-lined pathway that leads towards the dorms. The cherry trees offer shade, with the sunlight blinking through the holes in the canopy. The light creates a chaotic pattern of shadows dappled with bright places where the beams hit the pavement. Rin's eyes are wandering in every direction but mine. I get the feeling that it's intentional. She leads me to the back gate once again, taking us through it and into the forest beyond. As before, the dropping temperature and the drastically reduced levels of light make it feel like the forest is swallowing us into its cavernous belly. We head uphill along the same path as last time, snaking around trees and boulders, over roots and rocks, past wild undergrowth. Birds sing somewhere in the woods, soloists for the humming background music at the treetops. We go past the small clearing with a big maple that is now called the Worry Tree. The climb steepens, then becomes easier again. I have to stop a few times to catch my breath, then hurry after Rin, who doesn't stop to wait for me. Soon, I'm out of breath again. Suddenly, the trees end and we emerge from the forest. The boundary of the woods is sharp and abrupt, as though a line had been drawn next to it, or drawn to mark it. The hill continues to climb up a little further ahead, but from here to the top, it's a rocky meadow. Patches of grass and small bushes that look like they're growing straight from the rock. We soon reach the highest point, with the forest behind us and the view to every direction opening in front of our eyes. The city lies far below and away, lazily reveling lazily reveling in the quiet afternoon mood. You can see pretty far from here, and the vista is beautiful. I wonder how high up we are. I breathe the fresh air and feel my heart rate slowly going back down. I think I might have overdone it a bit. A higher pulse is dangerous for me. I'm feeling fine right now, though. The wind picks up, ruffling my hair and causing the trees below us to sway. It makes the grass undulate and waves as the breeze sweeps across the hilltop. Sun shines from the open skies above us, a few clouds passing by to shadow it. What was painful heat before is now gentle warmth. I take a good look around. The hilltop is pretty in the way nature often is, unplanned harmony found in the natural arrangement of things. The most striking feature is the abundance of small yellow flowers. They're literally everywhere in the small meadow. I can't help commenting on it. Wow, a lot of flowers. Yeah, you know this kind? They'll fly away. Yeah, dandelions. There are not many of them at the school because they cut the grass so often. Nobody cuts grass up here. The fragile-looking flowers will soon turn white and fluffy like cotton, and the wind will carry their seeds away. I crouch down to look at one tiny yellow flower, silently basking in the sunlight. There's not a hint of white yet, so it's still waiting for its time to be fulfilled. I brush my fingers against the delicate yellow petals, feel the soft texture in my fingertips. It feels nostalgic somehow. I hear Rin approaching from behind and stand back up to face her. She has a weird look on her face. Something on your mind? I don't know, it's just... You just look so sad all the time, and become upset so easily, and it makes me confused, and I really don't remember much about yesterday except that you came to my room, and that's why it might be because of me. So if it's because of me, I think that I know why. It's because people don't really like talking to me, and you might be the same. And that would be sad. I know that people, and I'm talking about others than Emmy too, always say that I'm strange and that I talk strange things. So I thought I tried not to say strange things, but that just makes me think more, and new strange and colorful, that was not a good word, but maybe you understand anyway, and odd things. So if I want to say something, I don't really know how. And then the words are not the same as the thoughts because something goes wrong on the way out, but it's not like the thoughts are really the thing that I should be saying. It's more like the idea of the thought or the feeling. No, or the feeling of the idea or the idea of the feeling, but it's not really any sort of those either because there's no word for it unless I invent a new one, which is not that really useful. So I've been thinking of doing things better than saying, so maybe because yesterday I took those pills and I was feeling a little strange, I might have done something that I shouldn't. Besides, I don't even know if it would be any better if I just could say the thought. There's no telepathy, there's no, that's real telepathy, isn't there? I think it'd be terrible and useful at the same time. But right now, I wouldn't mind being misunderstanding is so easy because understanding is not, and I thought I'll never take punctuation for granted ever again. I grasp her shoulder and squeeze hard to make her stop. I don't have the capacity to take all that in at once. Rin shuts up instantly. Take a breath. I'm not upset. Why would I be? I'm just a little confused, but it's alright. I wonder if I was making a face she doesn't like again. I guess I've been thinking about yesterday all the time. Maybe I looked weird. I wish I had a mirror with me at all times. No need to get it all said at once. I'll listen, even if you talk slower.
I look away for half a minute. What the heck did I miss?
It just came out. Sorry, I'm okay now. I just wanted to say something. I didn't mean that much. It's weird, isn't it? She looks at me with a surprisingly timid expression, one that I haven't seen before. I can't help but laugh a little. Yeah, that's weird. You're a pretty weird person, but there's nothing wrong with that. Thanks for being worried about me, but I'm gonna get better. I told you that yesterday, but I guess you don't remember that either. I don't. I wonder what else I forgot. Hopefully nothing important like my own name. That'd be terrible. Well, you kissed me. Oh, I did? Yeah, you did. On the lips. I try to sound as matter-of-fact as I can, but I worry that I might be blushing again. Did you kick me? No! Why would I do that? When it's all good, right? It's okay, right? I didn't forget my name. Yeah, it's okay. I wish I was more suave so that I could come up with a better follow-up to that, but nothing comes to mind. It's a good thing that Rin has more to say. Makes me feel relieved somehow. I think I should say sorry. I'm really bad with people. Some things are hard to understand, like jellyfish. Do you understand jellyfish? I guess not. People are like jellyfish to me. I don't understand. Now it's her turn to make a face I don't really like seeing. I've never really had any friends. Alright, you know what time it is. Now, I think... this actually is a little tricky. I mean, I think I know what the right answer is, but I could see it going both ways. Right? I think... Oops, as I knock something over on my desk. I think it's what about me, but... Although At this point, the aim is for you two to get together, yeah. That's part of why I'm thinking about what about me. But what about Emmy? Because I'm kind of curious to... I don't know that she would actually say it, because it's Rin. But I'm interested to hear what she actually thinks of Emmy. Because when she was a little, drugged out, she sounded a little bothered by the way Emmy acts around her sometimes. But I don't think that means she actually hates Emmy, or isn't her friend, or anything like that.
Are they jelly or are they fish?
Shut up. I could see this one going both ways. We're gonna go with what about me, though. Definitely. Probably. Yeah, we're doing it. I'm not gonna second guess myself. What about me? Am I not your friend? Nah, I'm your friend, for one. I mean, think about it. We already talk a lot to each other. We've even gotten upset at each other and then forgiven the other for it. That's what they call friendship. That's really nice of you to say that. I've always been able to tell everything to pencils and paints and paper. They are my best friends. It's harder with people. I have to use words. That is hard for me. Yeah, I know. He told me about how you forget. Rin nods at me wordlessly, and I dare to attempt showing her a little encouraging smile. I hope I do it properly. She doesn't respond in any way. I feel really glad. The distance Rin puts between herself and everything else has made me feel really uneasy ever since I met her. If we become real friends, I'm sure I could understand her more. I'm sure that this way we can close the gap of understanding between us. My thoughts don't transmit to Rin. She seems lost deep in thought, wandering amidst the sea of yellow flowers covering the grassy hilltop. That's just as well. Time passes, the breeze making the taller grass sway gently in time with the wind. Rin hums a little song to herself so quietly that I can't tell what it is, if it's even anything at all. A stronger gust sweeps over the hilltop, and the sound of the trees and the wind buries the song away. I check my watch, more out of a habit more than anything else. It's 4:30 right now, on this Saturday afternoon. Rin looks into the distant horizon with that odd blank stare of hers, as if she were looking at nothing at all. Her pupils are dark and quiet like a pair of deep, still ponds. I think I'm going to quit the art club. I realized it when we had that argument last week. It was a good thing I tried it, but it's just not my thing, you know? I had more fun getting to know you than actually doing the art stuff in there. But I want to stay as your friend. Would that be alright? Sure. It was getting pretty creepy anyway with you staring at me all the time. Her comment makes me fluster immediately, but I manage a reply. Sorry about that. It's okay, I'm used to it. You're not the first person who likes to see me paint. Are you gonna do some other thing? I don't know. Probably not. You're gonna become better, right? Sure. Me too, you know. I'm going to talk to that friend of the teacher and ask her to put my stuff in her place, and work hard to get all that done. I decided that just now, you know, but I think I knew it all along. I've had this feeling for a long time now, that I'm gonna change. Even if I hate it and don't want it. Even if I wanted to, I would change. Like I am not enough the way I am. I think this could be a good way to do it because it's like a straight line. Like I've learned all the things in my life so far just for this. It's just art. And it's the only thing I really know. I know what I'm gonna do, so it's good. I'm not afraid at all. I feel like I always do. Is that weird? No, not at all. I close my eyes and give in to the irresistible sensation that has been growing inside me all week long. I float up towards the surface of my own life. The pressure of being underwater slowly diminishes. The weightless sensation becomes stronger. I break the surface of the water, lifting my head into the sunlight, and inhale deeply, breathing in fresh air as if for the first time in a long, long while. My lungs fill with oxygen, and I open my eyes to see Rin's peaceful, determined face. We walk down the slope carefully and slowly to avoid falling down. Rin in the lead and me a few steps behind. Oh hey, he isn't sinking anymore. Exactly! Rin surely can do this. Even if she can't, she's gonna pull through. I'm sure that I can keep my head above water too, from now on. The sun sets behind our backs, setting the world ablaze in its orange glow. Sorry, got excited. I keep watching the back of the red-headed girl descending the path a few steps ahead of me. If it's only this much, this distance between us is definitely within my reach. Well, that was a cute act. And that was only Act 2. Act 3, distance. I was just gonna point out how there was distance between the two of them. Ask you a question, the guy. Question that we're gonna have to figure out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Alright, well. Well, that was fun. I really liked that. Oh my gosh. I'm really liking Rin's route so far. There's a lot of options in it, though, in comparison to the other routes. Some of the other routes, like, I think Lily's route had, like, one dialogue, or one option that, like, mattered for things. And this is, we've had, like, at least 3 or 4 of them in Act 2 alone. So, this is looking kind of, if the rest of the acts are gonna be like this, I'm a little worried we might not get the 100%. But I think I'm definitely doing pretty good so far. You started with the routes that almost killed Hisao, by the way. What do you mean? You mean like... The last few were way quieter. You mean like starting with Emmy's route, you mean? The running route than Lily's End? Oh, okay, yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah. I think I remember hearing, can't Hisao actually die? Can't he actually die in some of the routes? Like, isn't there an actual route where he can die? You don't have to tell me what it is. Just if it's true, you can just confirm or deny. Yes, I think someone left the lights on in the art room of Watergate. Yes, thank you. Have a good night. Trying to get to Lily and almost dying in the airport. Yeah, that's what Wingishu means when he's talking about Lily's End. You are my source for this? Oh, okay. I thought you knew more. I see. Dying on the inside or for real? For real. I think this Hisao in this route especially. This act is the most depressed he's ever sounded. Which is crazy. Because he sounded pretty depressed in the other routes, but this is the most depressed he sounded. I'm glad he's getting better. Although he gets better in every route, you know? It's kind of the point of the game, actually. It's not just about dating the disabled girls, it's about improving. Which is good. He wanted to be better, so he decided to start doing dangerous things because what doesn't kill him makes him stronger. I'm interested in seeing what this being better ends up looking for Hisao in this route. Because he's going to drop out of the art club, so what is he going to... He said he's probably not going to fill anything with its place, but I doubt that. Because in Emmy's route, we saw that he took up an interest in science, the sciences. He wanted to become a science teacher, I believe. And that helped him a lot. So we're maybe he picks up science again, but we'll see. Without being too introspective in this one and dating the disabled girls. He's got to get to running more too, yeah. He accumulates off the energy of others, yeah. And Rin doesn't have a lot of that energy, you know? Well, this was good. I enjoyed this. This was a good day. I always look forward to the Katawa Shoujo streams. They're always some of my favorites. It's a shame we're gonna reach the end of it soon. We got the ending of Rin's route, and then we're gonna do Kenji route. Hisao is a battery. In a manner of speaking, aren't we all batteries? Don't we all just share our energy with each other and charge each other up? And drain each other at times? Emmy forced him to run Lily not energy, but she was positive. Yes, I understand. Yes, definitely. Wait, that's just the Matrix plot. But wait a minute. Is Hisao Neo? Is he the chosen one? Is the spoon real, Hisao? You need to tell me. No, that's just all of us goading you on. Right. And the vampire drained you on BG3. Well, sort of. He did kill me that one time, but he didn't drain... He refused to drain me at the party. So, you know how it is. We got turned down. We didn't get drained that night. I mean, sorry. I think I misunderstood the question. Anyway. So I gotta go install Girls Frontline 2 real quick on my PC. It uninstalled itself the other day, and I have no idea why. So I gotta go reinstall that real quick. And then we'll do part 2 of Aphelion tomorrow. And then maybe Bakery on Friday. I'm not sure yet. I don't necessarily know. I might put a pause in Bakery right now, because I'm not going to play it next week. Or the week after. Or probably the week after that. I don't want to put like a huge gap in between in playing the game. I might forget story points or how to play the game. So it might just be better if I just put it on hold for now. We'll see. We'll see how I feel on Friday. He only killed you once, silly things, you know? Yeah, exactly. Only killed me one time. It's not that big a deal. You know, it was just the one time, you know? Just the one time. Anyway, I think that's going to conclude the stream today. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. It was good having you. I hope you enjoyed. I've been enjoying Rin's Route. We'll pick it back up on Monday, probably. Because I can't not play Katawa Shoujo at this point. It's fun. I like it. So, anyway, yeah. Catch you tomorrow, maybe, possibly. Remember to like the video or something. I feel like I'm contractually obligated to say that. YouTube keeps telling me to mention the word membership in streams, and that will, like, get more members, but screw you, YouTube. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Anyway, bye.